Chapter 2972. Qin Yun is still not sure about Malurer's overall strength. He only knows that her mental power is very strong, at least 200. She seemed to have used her powerful mental power to attack the Sun Moon Emperor and was defeated in an instant. Qin Yun's mental power is only a few dozen. Facing Malurer's mental attack, he cannot defend at all. Malurer does not seem to be using divine space power because Qin Yun did not sense any strong mental power from her body. Malurer, what do you plan to do with these golden crisps? Can you take them away? Qin Yun asked. Of course, this is the small bag I used to store the golden crisps. Malurer said. As long as I am outside, keep this small bag. Qin Yun was currently in the tiny space, but he did not sense that it was a storage divine artifact. This was because it looked too naturally formed. Where did this small bag come from? Qin Yun looked at it and found that this storage divine tool is different from the ones he is familiar with. I found it here. I saw that no one is here, so I used it to store the golden crisp. I can turn this small space into a small bag, Malurer said with a smile. Qin Yun is surprised again. This is really a naturally formed space, but Malurer can turn it into a bag. Malurer's ability is really too terrifying. She can directly chew divine universe golden stones, and also has strong mental power. This is really a very strange life form. Qin Yun can now carefully estimate how many divine universe golden stones there are inside the small space. What he saw outside is not very accurate. He found that some divine universe golden stones are not pure divine universe golden stones. Divine universe golden stones are a special kind of stone that gradually forms after absorbing enough energy. Impure divine universe golden stones have not absorbed enough energy and have not evolved. If they are dug out, they are impure. In the small space, there are many impure divine universe golden stones, especially those big ones. Only the surface layer has turned into divine universe golden stones, and the inside has not evolved. Therefore, Qin Yun carefully looked at the divine universe golden stones here and finally estimated that there are only 150 billion. Mainly those big divine universe golden stones. When seen from the outside, they thought that they have completely evolved. But after carefully looking inside, they found that those big divine universe golden stones only have the surface layer turned into gold. Therefore, the amount that Qin Yun estimated now was very different from the previous estimate outside. Malur pulled Qin Yun out and waved her hand gently. The entrance of the small space suddenly closed, and then there was a spatial fluctuation. At first, the fluctuations were very intense. As they gradually weakened, a golden ball of light appeared in the center of the fluctuations. This is my little bag. Malur stretched out her hand, and the little bag flew over and fell into her palm. Just now, Qin Yun could sense that Malur was using a very strong mental power. Did you use mental power just now? Qin Yun asked. Malur sighed softly and said, I don't know how much I'm going to eat. Brother Yun, why don't you eat golden crispy? It's too hard, I can't bite through it. Qin Yun stroked Malur's blue hair with smile and said, But I have other ways to cultivate mental power. Malur looked around and said in a low voice, Brother Yun, I can't come out during the day. I'm afraid. What are you afraid of? Qin Yun pulled Malur's hand and said with a smile, Don't be afraid, I will protect you. In fact, he felt that Malur was much stronger than him, mainly because her mental power was very high, and she also mastered a very strange ability. During the day there are 6 big divine suns in the sky. I am afraid of the light of those divine suns. I am still too weak to resist the light of those divine suns. Malur said with some sadness, Brother Yun, it seems that I can't be with you, I will be a burden to you. Qin Yun was shocked. When he saw Malur before, he felt that she had a very familiar feeling. At that time, he couldn't tell why. Now that he knew that Malur was afraid of the day, he immediately thought of the group of human ghosts he encountered in the 9 Suns Holy Land. Human ghosts are very special. They are afraid of the sun during the day, but they are very strong at night. They can easily kill and devour foreign beasts. Miller said that she is afraid of the sun, so it is very likely that she is similar to the group of human ghosts. Maybe it is the appearance of human ghosts after they cultivate a body. What made Qin Yun puzzled is that Miller must be able to sense the divine universe golden stone, otherwise she would not have collected so many. When Qin Yun was in the Nine Suns Holy Land, he once asked the group of human ghosts to help him find the divine universe golden stone. However, the group of human ghosts could not sense the divine universe golden stone. Miller, in your hometown, can everyone sense the golden stone? Qin Yun wanted to know whether Miller is the evolved version of human ghosts or not. Milur shook her head and said sadly, I'm a freak. Every once in a while, I'll enter a state that allows me to sense gold. If there's one nearby, I'll be able to find it immediately. Because I can always find the golden stone to eat, so they don't like me very much. They say that I always snatch it from them. Later, I don't eat it myself and specially help them find it. After many years, the golden stone became less and less. I can't find it, so they ignore me and I also become weaker and weaker. What a pitiful child, good intentions are not repaid. Qin Yun roughly understood the situation of Miller being rejected. She is very simple, she can find the divine universe golden stone by herself, but because she eats it alone, others dislike her. Later on, she had kindly given the divine universe golden stones that she had found to others, but she hadn't really eaten them. And when she couldn't find any more divine universe golden stones, her cultivation didn't keep up, so she was naturally despised by others. Qin Yun is very angry in his heart. There is actually such a group of people who take advantage of Miller's kindness. He suddenly understood why Miller was so generous to share the divine universe golden stone with him. It turns out that this is her habit. Brother Yun, you won't despise me, right? I will help you find the golden stone, I can help you find a lot, I don't want any. Miller looked worried and pulled Qin Yun's hand. Miller, leave the golden stone in the small bag for yourself. Brother Yun will not want you. You have to eat more and become stronger. You are weak because you gave the golden stone to others and did not keep it for yourself. Qin Yun patted her head and said with a smile, Brother, I will look for the golden stone with you. After we find it, we will divide it equally. I don't want the golden stone, I will give it all to Brother Yun. Miller also felt that Qin Yun is very good to her because no one has ever been so good to her, and even said that they will protect her. Chapter 2973. Qin Yun did not know what Maruru had experienced. He only knew that she must have been deceived by a group of evil people. What was rare was that she had always been so naive and kind, never questioning others. You found so many golden crisps, why don't you eat more? Qin Yun held her hand and handed her a fruit. He didn't know if she liked it or not. Because my senior brothers and sisters said that if I find the golden crispy crunch, I must give it to them. If I eat too much, I'll be annoying. Sect Master also said that I'm a disciple of the Golden Universe sect. All the golden crisps that I find belong to the Golden Universe sect. Miller took the red fruit handed over by Qin Yun, then sniffed it and exclaimed, It smells so good, what is this? Qin Yun was secretly infuriated. The Golden Universe sect had actually colluded to deceive this innocent girl. You said you were hiding from that destroyer. What's going on? Qin Yun took out another fruit and took a bite. He motioned Miller to imitate him and take a bite of the fruit in her hand. After Lu saw this, she also copied Qin Yun and bit the fruit. After taking a bite, her face was filled with astonishment. Obviously, she has never eaten such a delicious thing before. Then, she didn't say anything and ate the fruit very seriously and happily. So sweet, so fragrant, so delicious. What exactly was that? Although it can't provide energy like Golden Crispy, it's very delicious. Malheur looked at Qin Yun with eager eyes, seemingly wanting to eat more. Qin Yun took out a few more and gave them to her. He said with a smile, "Eat more. You can mix it with golden crispy. That will be even better." And Malheur quickly took out several small pieces of divine universe golden stone, put one in her mouth, and then took a bite of the fruit. After she happily finished eating one, she said, "The destroyer wants to destroy me, saying that my existence has brought about a great imbalance." They surrounded the Golden Universe sect. Later, the sect leader and the others told me to go out and accept their punishment. I was terrified, so I started to run. After many years, I ended up here. In the future, there will be no Golden Universe sect. This is God desolate. There will be no destroyer here. Even if they come, Big Brother will protect you. Qin Yun's face was filled with love as he gently touched Malheur's face. "Big Brother Yun, the Divine Sun here is too powerful. I still can't get used to it now. What about during the day? Can you accompany me to hide underground?" Malheur was very reluctant to part with Qin Yun. "No need to hide underground, I will let you go to a place, that is my small space." Qin Yun planned to let Malheur enter the Nine Sun Divine Soul. 9 Although there was a Shinyu Ziyang in the first pearl of the Sun God Soul, that Shinyu Ziyang was still very weak. With Malheur's current strength, she would definitely be able to resist that Shinyu Ziyang. "Really? Why didn't I feel anything? Where is it?" Malheur asked curiously. Qin Yun told Malheur not to resist, and then sent her into the first pearl of the Nine Sun Divine Soul. He also told Ling Yun to take good care of this new little sister. Mo, Yang Yang, Little Queen Ant and Little Jade Rabbit in the Nine Sun Divine Soul were very happy to see new friends. They surrounded Malheur and chattered non-stop. Just like this, Malheur suddenly gained a few more friends and she can also eat a lot of delicious food. This made her very happy. Qin Yun took out the Taisher Divine Mirror and asked, "Big Brother, where do you think Malheur came from? She seems to be different from us." "It should be a different life form from you. The universe is very big, it is normal to have all kinds of strange life forms. Of course, the life forms in her hometown should be higher level than you," Taisher said. "Higher level? Is it more powerful?" Qin Yun asked. "The life forms of Divine Desolate should be middle and lower level. Above you, there are still several levels," Taisher said. "If you want to break through, the Divine Sun of Divine Desolate must be strong enough, otherwise it will limit your growth. The existence of the heavenly ancient race is to limit the growth of the Divine Sun. However, this also caused the heaven-opening ancient race to be restricted." Yu Yuan told Qin Yun before that their heaven-opening ancient race is restricted by some kind of power, causing their bloodline heavenly rune to be difficult to awaken. If Qin Yun helped them awaken too much, then if they were discovered, their heaven-opening ancient race would suffer a calamity. On the way back, Yun opened the group created by Xiao Yueme, Xiao Yuelan and Yu Xiaoling. They posted many pictures of Xiao Yueme dressed up as Yu Xieji in Heaven's divine moon. They very smoothly deceived many people. "I have killed the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor and let the ancient Heavenly Moon clan know that Yu Xieji is still alive. You don't have to pretend anymore, go and do your own things," Qin Yun said with smile. "In the future, if there is something like this, I will call you." Knowing that the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor has been killed, Xiao Yuelan and the others felt relieved. Although they knew that Qin Yun would be able to defeat the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor, they still felt worried. During this time, Yu Lifan contacted Qin Yun and asked why Qin Yun hasn't gone to find him. Previously, Qin Yun said that he wanted to find Yu Lifan. However, because the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor went to Moon Season City, he was delayed for some time. He went to find Yu Lifan because he wanted to ask about the exploration of the Divine Universe Goldstone Mine. He also wanted to ask about the taboo of the heaven-splitting ancient clan, which was what Yu Yuan had said about their heaven-splitting ancient clan being restricted. Qin Yun told Yu Lifan that he will leave for the ancient Heavenly Moon clan after he is done with some matters. Qin Yun immediately returned to Moon Season City. On his way back, he contacted Xian Shazi and Chu Wuxing to wait for him at the Moon Season City Master's Mansion. 2 days later, Qin Yun returned to the Moon Season City Master's Mansion. Xian Shazi and Chu Wuxing have already arrived. They are waiting for Qin Yun in a spacious secret room under the City Master's Mansion. Tian Yu and Tian Rui are also here. They are hidden assassins of heavenly secrets, and their abilities are outstanding. Moreover, they have been subdued by Qin Yun, so they are valued by Xian Shazi and Chu Wuxing. After Yu Yan brought Qin Yun to the secret room, Qin Yun immediately took out the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron. The Sun Moon Tribe's Emperor is imprisoned in the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron. After being thrown out by Qin Yun, he foolishly stood there motionlessly. His eyes are lifeless, as if he has lost his soul. This, boss, what happened to this guy? Although Yu Yan guessed it, she is not sure. I used soul lost due on him, Qin Yun said with smile. This guy is not dead, he can no longer threaten us. Xian Shazi, Chu Wuxing and Yu Yan were all threatened by Qin Yun with the soul lost due. If they did not cooperate with Qin Yun, they would have the same fate as the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor. Xian Shazi said with a smile, Boss, I know what you want to do. Are you going to pretend to be the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor? Tian Rui, Tian Yu, I need one of you to enter the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor's body and control it. You will act as the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor. Who is willing? Qin Yun asked. Chapter 2974. Tian Yu and Tian Ru were people Qin Yun could trust, and they were experienced assassins of the heavenly secret. They had the ability to impersonate the Sun Moon Tribe Emperor. I will transfer your soul to the body of the Sun Moon Tribe Emperor and help you devour his original soul so that you can use his demon mirror, his storage magic treasure, divine universe gold card, etc. Qin Yun said. Qin Yun still did not possess the strength to defeat the great divine lord. Before that, he could not let the great divine lord know about his subordinate. As such, Tian Rui's mental strength was the same as the Sun Moon Tribe's emperor's. Tian Rui was originally a descendant of the Divine Sun. His previous body could be considered a puppet body, so even if he changed his body now, it would not affect him much. Tian Rui's original body wasn't as strong as the Sun Moon Tribe Emperor's. Now that he had obtained the body of the Sun Moon Tribe Emperor, his strength had increased significantly. Tian Rui took out the storage device of the Sun Moon Tribe Emperor and said, I can use it. I am now the real Sun Moon Tribe Emperor. After all, my body and soul are still here and it will be difficult to see through my disguise. After Yu Yan saw Tian Rui, she smiled tenderly and said, Tian Rui, you have to manage the arrogant Heavenly Court Pavilion in the future so that I can take care of this city better. That should be the treasury of the Sun Moon Tribe Emperor. The income of the Heavenly Court Pavilions and the Heavenly Court is mainly transferred to the Great Godly Lord's gold card. Qin Yun waved his hand and said, I don't need it now, you keep it. You need to have some divine universe golden stones with you to disguise as the Sun Moon Tribe's Emperor. Tian Rui was now the Sun Yin Tribe Emperor and could sneak into the Heavenly Court. As long as Qin Yun killed the Great Divine King in the future, Tian Rui would be able to completely control the entire Heavenly Court. At that time, there would be even more divine universe golden stones. Xian Shazi and Chu Wuxing were in charge of the Heaven's Secrets Gate, the Enforcer Realm King was in charge of the Enforcer World, and Sky Rake was in charge of the Heavenly Court. If they could successfully take down the Great God King in the future, all these forces could be united. The outside world didn't know about this at all. Like the Sun Moon Tribe Emperor, he was tightly controlled by the Great God Lord. From time to time, he would be squeezed by the Great God Lord. Over time, he would accumulate resentment in his heart. Although the law enforcement world king and Xian Shazi signed a master-servant contract with Qin Yun, they no longer hated Qin Yun. The main reason was that they obtained the benefits they deserved, and it was much better than before. Qin Yun looked inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul and asked Ling Yuner about Malur's situation. Seeing that Malur did not reject the Nine Sun Divine Soul, Qin Yun felt relieved. Then, from Moon Season City, he teleported to Divine Moon of Heavens. Qin Yun knew nothing about the destroyer. He believed that Malur's original location was very far away from the Divine Wilderness and that the destroyer would not come over. In a mountain range of Celestial Moon, Yuli Fan's formation was in operation at all times. At this moment, the castle at the top of the mountain was enveloped by a faint white glow. The Grand Array was being activated. Last time, Yusong had brought him here. At that time, this kind of barrier hadn't been activated yet. Little Qin, it's best if you don't help the heaven-splitting clan disciples awaken their bloodline heavenly patterns. Yulifan lowered his voice and said, Even I don't dare to tell others that I have a group of people with heavenly runes under me. Moreover, their heavenly runes are very powerful. Of course, what Yu Yuan doesn't know is that there are people hidden in the heaven-splitting ancient clan who are watching us. Yulifan shook his head and said, I thought that Yu Yuan knew about it, that's why he kept a low profile after accepting those disciples. Yulifan smiled and said, So you saw through me. To be honest, I wasn't sure if the heaven-opening ancient clans were restricted, so I wanted to test it out. I never thought it would cause such a huge commotion. It was really dangerous. They can't be considered spies, they are only monitoring us to prevent us from breaking through the restriction. Yuli Fan said. Race M. Chapter 2975. Qin Yun suddenly felt that he is in danger. Unknowingly, he has been secretly used. Then can you find the Watchers? Qin Yun asked. Qin Yun said, I keep feeling like I've been used. So you're saying that all the heaven-opening ancient clans sent people to the Imperial Heaven Sect and made such a huge commotion. Did you, the upper echelons, deliberately send people there? Qin Yun said, The other upper echelons don't know that I helped them awaken? Alright, now that you want to find those Watchers, are you planning to fight against them? Qin Yun said, Your heaven-opening ancient clan originally wanted to restrict the growth of Divine Sunday. If you don't want to do these things and want to become stronger, your clan will be exterminated. Weaker and weaker? Qin Yun is somewhat shocked and asked, Were you originally very strong? Qin Yun is silent, as if he is thinking about something. The outsiders entered the resource-rich Nine Sun Sacred Land and occupied a large amount of resources. The heaven-opening ancient clan couldn't obtain any resources and would only fall behind more and more, unless they had a large number of bloodline heavenly rune disciples. The heaven-opening ancient clan is now one. We will join hands and break through the restrictions no matter what. Yulifan has already made up his mind. He is considered one of the upper echelons of the heaven-opening ancient clan. He will definitely participate in those secret meetings. They have great divine abilities and used some technique that we don't know about. In short, they are hiding very well, we still can't discover them. Yulifan shook his head. The upper echelons have a very strange way of thinking. They believe that if they are not born to be upper echelons, they cannot become upper echelons and are destined to be middle or lower echelons. They will also arrange some things for the middle and lower echelons, but they will not come into contact with them. Yulifan said. XDW8 Yulifan laughed at himself. In their eyes, we are nothing. This is also a helpless action. If we don't restrict the Divine Sun, the endless growth of so many Divine Suns will definitely lead to the collapse of this universe. Moreover, if we don't do it, someone else will definitely do it. Yulifan said. Maybe the upper echelons are also worried that the endless growth of the middle and lower echelons will threaten their environment in the future. The 9 sun sacred lands barrier can block for a period of time, so we must use this time to grow. That way, even if the barrier collapses, we will have the power to protect ourselves. I'm the God King of the deity desolate. I will never leave the deity desolate, Qin Yun very resolutely said. Even if I die, I will die in divine desolate. This is my root, this is my life. Qin Yun took out the divine universe heavenly bone he had obtained. It weighed over 60 genes in total. Yulifan took out a book and said with smile, "Here, take a look yourself. You will definitely be able to understand and master it." Yulifan shook his head and smiled. "Brat, are you trying to bring me to explore the mines? I want to learn." Qin Yun chuckled and said, "Teach me. Give me a book, I will study by myself." Qin Yun continued to ask, unwilling to give up. If Yulifan still refused to teach him, then he could only reveal the fact that he cultivated the soul god universe. Previously, in the small city where that piece of divine universe black gold was located, there were many seniors in the 8th or 9th tier of the divine universe realm. They should have worked together to find it. If Qin Yun were to cultivate the divine cosmos power, he would need 1,000,000,000 divine cosmos goldstones to raise it slightly. As for whether there would be a bottleneck in the later stages, or if he would need to increase the number of divine cosmos goldstones, he was still unsure. Race M. Chapter 2976. Speaking of cultivating mental power, Yulifan's face is filled with worry. He shook his head and said, "It's very, very difficult. Sometimes I can't increase it for several years. Sometimes I can increase it by tens or hundreds of points in a year. But I'm not sure." "Yeah, I can be considered pretty good," Yulifan said. "Of course, Xiao Qihong is higher than me. A long time ago he had 800, now he should be close to 1,000. Xiao Qihong has close to 1,000 points of mental power. This is indeed very powerful. Of course, according to Qin Yun's understanding of the Divine King Heavenly Seal, it is impossible to always need 1,000,000,000 divine universe golden stones to increase mental power. Maybe after a certain value, it will increase. Now he first has to study the new ability of the Divine King Heavenly Seal. It took him 100 billion to evolve it. Old brother Taisher, what is the new ability of the Divine King Heavenly Seal? It hasn't appeared yet? Qin Yun asked anxiously. Qin Yun is very puzzled. He once again suspects that the new ability of the Divine King Heavenly Seal is controlled by Taisher. He only has this suspicion but did not ask. Qin Yun waited in the basement for 2 days and the new ability of the Divine King Heavenly Seal finally appeared. Qin Yun doesn't know if he is happy or sad because he definitely needs Divine Universe golden stones. Although his palms can cultivate the Divine Universe heavenly bone, he still needs to absorb Divine Universe golden stones through the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Any part of the body? Qin Yun said with a mischievous smile. That's great! Roughly how many Divine Universe golden stones is needed to activate one part? Qin Yun is somewhat excited. Even though he knows that he needs a large amount of Divine Universe golden stones, he is still in high spirit. Qin Yun heard Taisher's words and his heart dripped blood. It made him suspect that Taisher needs a large amount of Divine Universe golden stones. Palms are a small part, 50 billion for a small part. Palms are 100 billion, Taisher said. The effect of refining the Divine Universe heavenly bone in palms is very obvious. It can make the Divine Universe power erupt even higher. Activation is more difficult, so it needs more Divine Universe golden stones, Taisher said. The 3 basic stages of forming the Divine Universe heavenly bone are awakening, tempering, and strengthening. Each stage requires a large amount of Divine Universe golden stones. Then, Qin Yun began to use the God King Heavenly Seal to temper his right palm's Divine Universe heavenly bone. This required him to temper all 4 of his fingers into a heavenly Divine Universe bone. There was still the palm bone that he hadn't completed, as well as the palm bone and pinky bone that he hadn't completed. He still needed 30 billion divine universe goldstones to completely transform his entire palm into a heavenly divine universe bone. After Xiao Yuanmei transferred it to Qin Yun, he left the Imperial Heaven sect and went to a large city in Divine Moon of Heavens to collect it. He guessed that there were at least hundreds of billions of divine universe metal stones in this underground vault, and it was extremely likely that they had all been dug out from the divine moon of the heavens. Qin Yun couldn't care less. He just wanted to quickly temper his entire palm into a divine universe heavenly bone. After Qin Yun returned, he used 3 days to transform his entire right palm into a divine universe heavenly bone. When Qin Yun stepped into the second firmament of the divine space realm, he could also cultivate the cosmic explosion divine art to the second level. Multiplied burst was a piece of cake for him. But now, he could slow down this situation. Moreover, even if he didn't use a weapon, he could directly use his palm that had cultivated the divine universe heavenly bone to possess a similarly formidable might. Qin Yun met Malur and planned to enter the Nine Sun Holy Land with her to explore the golden stone mines, otherwise he wouldn't be able to continue cultivating. According to the information he obtained during this period of time, the Nine Sun Holy Land is becoming more and more dangerous. Outer universe humans are frequently moving about. Even a 5th or 6th level divine space realm instructor has to be very careful when entering the Nine Sun Holy Land. Clan. Chapter 2977. Qin Yun made several imperial heavenly talismans and told Xiao Yuelan and the others that he would be entering the Nine Sun sacred land for a period of time. He would return before the great divine king came to ask for the divine universe golden stone. The great godly lord had previously sent the Sun Moon Tribe Emperor to Moon Season City to get Yu Xieji to gather 100 billion divine universe golden stones within 3 months. Once the time was up, the great godly lord would definitely appear personally. Qin Yun also instructed Xian Sha and company to be careful and not expose themselves. The current Sun Moon Tribe Emperor was Tian Rui, and he had already gone to the heavenly court. Qin Yun was still worried that he would be exposed, so he reminded him to be careful and escape immediately if he was discovered. Qin Yun did not tell Yu Yuan and the others that he was going to the Nine Sun sacred ground to prevent them from worrying. It was still quite dangerous to head to the Nine Sun sacred ground, but Qin Yun believed that he was strong enough to protect himself. As long as he did not venture too deep, he would not be in any danger. The outer region of the Nine Sun sacred ground was huge, and the humans and creatures from the outer universe were limited. It was impossible for them to occupy the entire outer region. He had previously learned from Yu Yuan that it would take a long time to fully develop the outer region. Therefore, even if the Nine Sun sacred ground had an increasing number of extraterrestrials, the heaven-splitting ancient clan would still be able to obtain a lot of resources from the Nine Sun sacred ground. The passageways into the Nine Sun sacred ground were controlled by the various heaven-opening ancient clans. Anyone who wanted to enter would need their permission. Qin Yun didn't want to complicate matters, so he decided to let the little ant queen bring him in through the dark space. The little queen ant's spatial power is getting stronger and stronger. Although she can't use any power in battle, the spatial power she grasped can be of great help to Qin Yun. The Heaven Imperial Gate was very close to the Nine Sun Sacred Grounds barrier. Qin Yun sneaked out at night and flew straight to the Nine Sun Sacred Grounds barrier. In order to strengthen this barrier, the Myriad Realm's Divine Sun had to concentrate most of its energy in the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. After Qin Yun approached the barrier and confirmed that there was no one nearby, he let the little ant queen come out and bring him into the dark space. After entering the dark space for a while, the little ant queen brought Qin Yun out. This way they could smoothly pass through the thick and powerful barrier. Qin Yun once again entered the Nine Sun Sacred Land. He was now in the outer region, which was a relatively safe area. However, as the aliens continued to enter the Nine Sun sacred ground through the passage, even the outer districts might encounter aliens. Beasts and beastmen were the most common species in the Outerverse, and now, batches of them were pouring into the holy land of Nine Suns. Their numbers were much higher than those of the Outerverse. Fortunately, they were not very powerful, and as long as they were careful, they could still deal with them. Qin Yun looked at the divine moon in the night sky, and could not help but recall the scene when he left the Nine Sun sacred ground. In order to protect everyone, those powerful elders had no choice but to make sacrifices in the end. Whether or not their souls were still there, no one could be sure. They all hoped that their souls hadn't been destroyed. After entering the Nine Sun sacred land, I can only rely on myself. Qin Yun is currently unable to borrow the power of the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday ever since he left the Sixth Divine Sun. He had been unable to contact the Nine Suns Law Spirit. This made him very unhappy. After the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit finished using him, it didn't bother with him anymore. It was very heartless. Qin Yun came here mainly to find a mine and see if he could take it away. The interior space of his Nine Yang Divine Spirit was very large. Currently, he had already opened 7 pearls. The first pearl was mainly for Mo and Yang Yang to survive. As for the other pearls, they had environments for growing medicinal herbs or large warehouses. However, there were still a few that were very empty. If he found a mine, he would cut the entire piece of land and then move it into the Nine Sun Divine Spirit to take it away. When he returned, he would refine some tools or puppet. He would dig out the Divine Universe goldstones from that piece of land. Every pearl of Qin Yun's Nine Sun Divine Spirit could contain Divine Sunday. It was like a small world. Storing a large piece of land inside was not a problem at all. After passing through the Nine Sun Sacred Lands barrier, Qin Yun looked ahead and immediately felt at a loss. He had no idea how to find the Divine Universe Goldstone mine. There were many Divine Universe Goldstones in the Nine Sun Sacred Land, but they were all buried very deep. Without certain methods, it was impossible to find them. Although there were many mines in the Nine Sun Sacred Land, it was not easy to find them. Many was only compared to the outside world. Moreover, in the Nine Sun Sacred Land, only the heaven-splitting ancient clan had the ability to find them. Qin Yun bent down and grabbed a handful of soil. The soil here was better than outside the barrier. Inside the Nine Sun Divine Spirit, Miluer is not afraid of the Divine Universe Purple Sunday. The main reason is that the Divine Universe Purple Sun is not strong. Qin Yun has already obtained the Divine Sun cultivation method, but he still doesn't know how to cultivate it. He only knows that in order to make the Divine Sun stronger, he needs to obtain energy from the universe. The Nine Sun Law Spirit told Qin Yun that if he simultaneously obtained energy from multiple universes, he would be able to make the Divine Sun stronger even faster. Qin Yun greeted Miluer and then let her come out. After Miluer came out, she let out a cry of surprise. "Brother Yun, where is this place? Why do I feel that there is a relatively strong energy here? It must be during the day when the Divine Sun gathered a lot of energy and shone it here. This is the Nine Sun Sacred Land. Compared to the outside, there should be even more gold," Qin Yun said with smile. "Miluer, can you sense gold on the ground now?" After Miluer came to the heavens divine desolate, she has never left that land of death. If she can find so many divine universe golden stones in that land of death, then it is possible that she can find a large mine in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. I can't sense it now. I can only sense Golden Crispy every once in a while, but I also need to be close to Golden Crispy. I can only sense it within a certain range," Miluer said. "Then how did you find the gold in your small bag?" Qin Yun asked. "I have been collecting for many years. I also don't remember how many years I have been in the heavens divine desolate. I often walk underground. I can jump through space and then follow my senses to find it. Miluer looked at the heaven's divine moon and said again, Brother Yun, wait for my feeling to come, I will immediately tell you. Heaven's divine desolate has been formed for a period of time. Qin Yun also doesn't know when Miluer came to the heaven's divine desolate. She also doesn't know, but it is certain that she spent a very long time alone. After Qin Yun told Miluer to go back, he flew close to the ground and then recalled the book Yu Lifan gave him. The book has a lot of experience in exploring the Divine Universe Golden Stone Mine. Yu Lifan was once a member of the exploration team. He can be considered as a very experienced veteran, but he was still unable to explore the mine by himself. According to the book, I need to observe the sky and earth, sense the heavenly power and earthly energy to determine where the Divine Universe Golden Stone Mine might be formed. Qin Yun took out the book, floated in the air and began seriously studying it. Race. Chapter 2978. The contents of the booklet were the summaries of the experiences of many seniors. For example, sensing the heavens' power and earthly chi required at least 60 mental units. As long as one had 60 mental units, they could sense the heavens' power described in the booklet. Qin Yun still did not know what the heavens' power was like. He only knew that if he released 60 mental units, he would receive a feedback if he was in the region of the heavens' power. If there was no feedback, he was not in the region of the heavens' power. The heavens' power covered a large area. If one wanted to shrink the area, they needed to sense earthly chi. This also required releasing 60 mental units in one go. After sensing earthly chi, one would only shrink the area, but it would allow one to explore a large area. The formation of Divine Universe Goldstone was the result of the Earth absorbing energy from the sky and then condensing it into energy crystals deep underground. That was Divine Universe Goldstone. Divine Universe metal stones couldn't be condensed in just any region's depth. Some underground areas, due to special circumstances, had natural array formations when the Earth was formed, or there was a lot of energy in underground rivers. These were more suitable for condensing Divine Universe Goldstone. The heavens' power was the area in the sky where the most energy was gathered. It would cover a large area. Because of special reasons, deep underground areas could absorb energy from the sky. When absorbing, it would produce earthly chi. A vast piece of land would absorb energy from the air at the same time. The absorption process was very slow, silent, and would not cause any commotion. After a long time, the land would gather the absorbed energy in one spot and condense it into crystals, forming a Divine Universe Goldstone mine. Qin Yun read the booklet again and knew why mining required teamwork. What's more, they had to be at least at the 8th or 9th level of the Divine Universe realm. First of all, only those at the 8th or 9th level of the Divine Universe realm could pass the test of mental power. Another reason was that only experts of this level dared to move around in more dangerous areas. Generally speaking, areas with Divine Universe Goldstone were more dangerous. Most Divine Universe Goldstone mines would form a perilous zone for self-protection or because of powerful beasts. Divine Universe Goldstone mines in the Nine Sun Sacred Ground could also be discovered by extraterrestrial lifeforms. Therefore, when mining, one needed to have great strength to protect themselves. Otherwise, they would be courting death. In addition, if many experts worked together, their own safety would be guaranteed after they spread out, and they would be able to expand their range of sensing the power of the heavens. When one person sensed the heavenly force, they would enter the area where the heavenly force was located. With many people working together to sense the earth and chi, they would quickly narrow down the area. Finally, they could borrow tools or spread out to search for treasure lands or dangerous areas in the earth energy region. From there, they could determine the location of the Divine Universe metal mine and find it in a short period of time. Divine universe metal ores that were found using this method were usually large ores. In the outer verse, this method would work just as well. There was a huge piece of divine universe black gold in the small city near the depth. According to the description in the booklet, the earth chi that the divine universe black gold was in was very strong and covered a very wide area. Yuli Fan found out about it later and added it to the booklet. He did not personally participate in the exploration. Mine exploration is truly complicated. Sure enough, it's not something a single person can do. Qin Yun's mental power is only 50, not even 60. He believes that he is different from others and that he can explore with only 50 mental power, so he came to give it a try. Of course, he hasn't started yet because he doesn't know if he can sense the heavenly force or not. If his mental power is not enough, he won't be able to sense the heavenly force even if he runs around. Let's go to the underground city first. There is usually a small mine near the underground city. This means that I can definitely sense the heavenly force and earthen chi there. Qin Yun remembered the location of the underground city he went to last time, so he adjusted his direction and flew over. When he flew over, he took out Xie Qiru, Yu Shi and Yu Tian's soul-chasing talismans. Bing Xing said that they have entered the Nine-Sun Holy Land. It was the Nine-Sun Law Spirit who let them in. However, after Qin Yun took out the soul-chasing talismans, he did not sense them. The soul-chasing talismans did not react, meaning that they are not in the Nine-Sun Holy Land, or in other words, they are in another space. Where are they? If they have entered the Nine-Sun Holy Land, does that mean they found a small space in the Holy Land? Qin Yun also came to the Nine-Sun Holy Land to find them. He suddenly thought, could Xie Qiru and the other two have gone to the outer verse through the passage at the center of the Nine-Sun Holy Land? However, this matter can only be confirmed by asking the Nine-Sun Law Spirit. Qin Yun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal again and frantically called out to the Nine-Sun Law Spirit, but there is no response at all. Nine-Sun Law Spirit, that rotten thing, the next time it comes looking for me, I will definitely scold it to death. If something happens, it comes looking for me and even uses the Nine-Sun Divine Maiden to threaten me to work for it. Now it's fine, no matter how much I shout, it doesn't respond. Qin Yun really wished that the Nine-Sun Law Spirit had a body so that he could ruthlessly beat it up in the future. What made Qin Yun the most angry is that he believes that the Nine-Sun Law Spirit can definitely hear his shouts, but it deliberately did not respond. The underground city is still near the barrier. It will only take half a day to fly there. Qin Yun is now flying alone. He has nothing to fear, so his flying speed is very fast. This will allow him to reach the underground city even faster. After half a day, Qin Yun arrived at the location of the underground city, but he did not find it. There should have been a group of mountains here, but now it has become flat ground. Moreover, there is a huge crater at the location of the mountain where the entrance to the underground city is located. The underground city has been discovered and attacked. In the end, a great battle broke out, causing the surrounding mountains to be flattened. Where are the people of the underground city? Qin Yun floated high in the sky and looked down at the huge crater below. His expression gradually turned grave. Before he entered the Nine-Sun Sacred Land, he had gathered information about the underground city, but he never knew that the underground city had been destroyed. If the underground city was destroyed and this matter did not spread out, it was very likely that everyone in the underground city had died and the outside world did not know about it. Qin Yun could not help but clench his fists. To him, those who died were all his compatriots. Although the heaven-opening race was the leader, they were all in the same universe as him. They all stood on the same side to resist the invasion of the outer universe creatures. But now they were all buried here. This caused Qin Yun to feel endless grief and indignation. It is very likely that a powerful outer universe person took action. Tai sure guessed after seeing the huge crater below through the divine mirror of ancient beginning. Before Qin Yun came in, he had gathered information about the Nine-Sun Sacred Land. Indeed, he knew that the Nine-Sun Sacred Land was becoming more and more dangerous. However, he did not expect that even the underground city at the edge would be destroyed. Clan. Chapter 2979. Qin Yun is still unable to confirm whether the underground city was destroyed by the aliens or not, but from the looks of the scene, it is very likely. Because this kind of destruction does not seem to be the behavior of the beastmen and beasts from the outer universe. The edge of the Nine-Sun Holy Land is no longer safe. I wonder if the heaven-opening ancient race knows about this. Qin Yun wanted to sense the remnant aura to see if he could find the experts of the heaven-opening ancient race. However, he could not sense anything. It is as if all the aura here has been blown away after the great battle. Qin Yun descended and arrived at the center of the huge crater. Then he released his mental power and opened his heavenly eye to sense the remnant aura in the surroundings, trying to find something. He wanted to understand the situation here. He wanted to know what exactly destroyed the underground city. But however, after a careful investigation, he did not find anything. After the great battle, this area is very clean. He did not find any fragments, not even fragments of weapons and protective equipment. The materials used to build the underground city are also gone. The underground city is an underground city, but now it has been completely destroyed. There is only this huge crater. It is very likely that the explosive power was too strong and destroyed everything. We didn't find anything, Taisher said. Qin Yun used the divine mirror of primal beginning to illuminate the surroundings. Taisher also did not sense any aura. Did the heaven-opening ancient race do this? After they retreated, they destroyed this place? Qin Yun suddenly thought of this possibility. There is no need to destroy it. You saw it before, the destroyed area is very large. There were originally many huge mountains nearby, but now not a single one can be seen. There was originally an underground city, but it has been destroyed like this. Taisher said, there is no need for the heaven-opening ancient race to make such a commotion. Qin Yun sighed and said, it seems like this underground city has truly been attacked. I wonder if they have escaped or not. We can look around and see if there are any clues. Taisher said, there should be golden stone mines near the underground city. Now that this kind of battle has occurred, I wonder if the heavenly power and earth energy are still there. Qin Yun looked at the sky. It is almost daybreak. The heavenly power should still be there, but the earth energy might be gone. This kind of destructive power is enough to cause the formation formed deep underground to lose its power. Taisher said, if the heavenly power is still there, Qin Yun can still test whether he can sense the heavenly power or not. Deng, however, he is not sure whether this area is covered by the heavenly power or not. Such as if that wasn't the case, then there was no point in him taking the test. Give it a try. Although you lack 10 points of mental energy, your situation is a bit special. You have the mental nether moon and the divine moon Dao image. Taisher said, since the sky is not bright yet, the divine moon is still in the sky. This might be able to strengthen your perception of the heavens. The celestial god moon was still in the sky. Qin Yun looked up at the celestial god moon and took a deep breath. He released all of his mental power. The moment he released his mental power, he immediately felt as if something was descending from the sky. He couldn't see it, but he could feel it. It was a very strange feeling. Don't tell me this is heaven's power? Qin Yun looked around. That feeling only lasted for an instant. He had already used up all of his mental energy, causing him to be slightly dispirited. However, this did not affect him. But he used the Godly King Heavenly Seal to replenish his mental energy, but he used up quite a lot of Divine Universe Goldstones. He needed 1 million to replenish it. Qin Yun only had 50 points of mental energy, so he needed 50 million to fully replenish it. He could still afford it. Under normal circumstances, he rarely used his mental energy. Even if he used it, he would not release it all in one go. For example, when he used the heavenly eye to use the fortune viewing technique, he only condensed his mental energy in his eyes. Although he concentrated all of his mental energy in his eyes, as long as he did not leave his body, he would not lose all of it. Only along with the circulation, it would be gradually consumed. At most, it would be a few points that he could recover on his own. Just like that. Now, this is the first time Qin Yun used up all of his mental energy in one go and released it all. Good. It was effective and allowed him to sense what the heaven's power was. And next is the earth energy. To sense the earth energy, I need to release my mental energy towards the earth. After Qin Yun recovered all of his mental energy, he stood in the middle of the deep pit and released all of his mental energy towards the earth. Release after releasing it, he only felt that his mental energy became a bit worse, and then he didn't feel anything else. Sensing the earth energy is almost the same as sensing the heaven's power. If there is earth energy, he will receive a feedback, but the feeling of receiving the feedback is somewhat different. Qin Yun doesn't feel anything now. It means that he can't sense the earth energy. Could it be that there is no earth energy here? Qin Yun said with a frown. Or is it that my mental energy is not enough? Taisher said, you can increase your mental energy to 60. You now have 50, 1 billion to increase the upper limit by 1 point. Increasing it by 10 points will only require 10 billion Divine Universe Golden Stones. Qin Yun only has less than 5 billion Divine Universe Golden Stones in his hands. If he needs it, he can only borrow it from Malheur. He previously said that he didn't want Malheur's Divine Universe Golden Stones. Now that he needs it, he is somewhat embarrassed to ask. Wait until you find the ore, then return it to Malheur. She is a kind and pure girl. You really shouldn't want the Divine Universe Golden Stones that she works so hard to find. But you are only borrowing it from her, it's not like you won't return it to her. Taisher said. Qin Yun is thinking about Malheur. He has been alone for many years, enduring loneliness and loneliness, wholeheartedly searching for Divine Universe Golden Stones. Moreover, he is reluctant to eat more, so his heart aches for her. She is very happy now, it is enough for her. Moreover, she can't eat so many Divine Universe Golden Stones in a short time. Taisher said, after you increase your mental energy, it will allow you to sense the heaven's power and earth energy faster. When the time comes, let Malheur lock onto the exact location and you will be able to find the golden stone ore. Qin Yun sighed and said, all right, I will definitely return it to her. Now the sky is about to brighten. Qin Yun first distanced himself from the huge pit, then found a large mountain, opened a very large cave and let Malheur come out. Malheur, I need some golden crisps, can you lend me some? I will return it to you later. When Qin Yun let Malheur come out, she is holding a dazzling golden fruit in her hand. What do you mean? Malheur thought about it, she seems like she really doesn't know. That's right, first give me some golden crisps, when I find it later, I will return it to you. Qin Yun said with smile. This is called returning what you borrowed. Big brother Yun, I will give it to you, you don't need to return it to me. Malheur raised the fruit in her hand and said with smile. These divine fruits are much more delicious than golden crisps. Malheur has been with Yang Yang and others all day long, she has gradually become a foodie. Chapter 2980. Malheur is very happy now because she has sincere friends and she can taste a lot of delicious food. Qin Yun is also protecting her, it can be said that she is carefree. She said that she has never been so happy before. She knowing that Qin Yun wants Divine Universe Golden Stones, she immediately took out the small bag. Mountain very quickly, a golden crack appeared in the cave. It is the small space that Malheur took away. She brought Qin Yun inside, and let him take the divine universe golden stones. Qin Yun took away 10 billion and let Maluru bring him out. Big brother Yun, there are still a lot here. Maluru saw that Qin Yun did not take away many divine universe golden stones and felt that it is somewhat strange. Enough, enough. Qin Yun smiled and touched Maluru's face. Maluru, thank you, Big Brother will return it to you in the future. No need, what is mine is Big Brother's. Maluru smiled sweetly and then ate the golden fruit. Her pretty face is filled with a happy smile. Qin Yun can't help but pinch her face and then let her enter the Nine Sun Divine Soul, letting her be together with Yang Yang and the others. Qin Yun is now in the cave. After obtaining the 10 billion divine universe golden stones, he immediately began to increase the upper limit of his mental power. Old brother Taisher, in the future, when my mental energy reaches a higher level, will it increase the amount of divine universe golden stones? Qin Yun always felt that since mental power is so difficult to cultivate, it will not be easy to increase it. I still don't know, Taisher said. In the book that Yu Lifan gave Qin Yun, it is written that if one's mental power is high, even if they are not in the area covered by the heavenly power, they can roughly sense the area covered by the heavenly power. If one's mental power is not enough, they will have to run around and try everywhere to find out whether they are in the area covered by the heavenly power or not. Therefore, if those seniors with high mental power go out, they will definitely be able to find a divine universe golden stone mine, and it will be a big mine. Qin Yun now knows how rich the heaven-opening ancient clan is. As long as they spend some time, they will definitely be able to find a big mine in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. Finding a mine is not difficult for them. What is difficult is guarding the mine and mining. And mining is not difficult for Qin Yun. As long as he can find it, he can quickly teleport to the Nine Sun Divine Soul. The methods that Senior Li Fan gave me are all for finding large mines. What I need are small mines. Yun is just one person. If he can find a small mine, it will be easier to move to the Nine Sun Divine Soul. It was very likely that the mine had been taken over long ago. If it wasn't controlled by the heaven-splitting ancient clan, then it was controlled by the beings of the outer universe. Qin inside the cave, Yun pondered over how to find a big mine. Her mind kept recalling the contents of the booklet. That after all, he was looking for a big mine, but he would definitely be able to deduce a way to find a small mine. The godly monarch heavenly seal helped Qin Yun raise his psyche power's upper limits, but it required a certain amount of time. Typically, it would consume 10 billion divine universe goldstones a day. Qin this time, Yun had to consume 10 billion divine universe gold stones. He needed a day to raise his mental force to 60. During this period of time, he could think about how to find a small mine. The power of the heavens determines which area will have a metal stone mine, and the terrain is used to shrink the area that the power of the heavens covers. As long as I can determine the area where the energy of the earth is, I can use a special tool to sense it, and I'll be able to sense the divine universe goldstone. That's right. For those 8th or 9th level divine universe realm seniors, the final determinant of whether or not they could find a divine universe goldstone mine is the probing tool. The probing tool needs to be infused with mental force. According to the description in the booklet, it needs to be infused with at least 60 mental force in order to have a certain reaction. Yun currently did not have such a probing tool, and it was definitely very rare. Only the seniors of the heaven-splitting ancient clan would have one. The seniors who used the tool should have at least 100 or 200 mental force, or even higher. Furthermore, the tool is mainly used to detect large mines, to increase one's perception. It is definitely custom-made for people with extremely high mental force. Yun rubbed his chin and muttered to himself, analyzing the results of his thoughts. This kind of tool is specially used to find large mines. In other words, the area covered by the power of the heavens is very large, and there will be many types of earth energy. Large areas with earth energy can be easily sensed, and there will be large mines. When they find small areas with earth energy, they can quickly determine if there is a payment, and then give up on the small mine. No one wants to go through so much trouble only to find a small mine in the end. When Yun thought of this, he suddenly became excited. He did not have a probing tool, but he had Maluru. Maluru could find a single piece of divine universe golden stone, let alone those small mines. Cheating from Maluru's small space bag, Yun also saw many thumb-sized divine universe golden stones, which she found in the uninhabited area. If the area covered by the power of the heavens is as big as an ocean, then the area covered by earth energy is the large and small islands on the ocean, and the large mines are the huge continents. This kind of area is generally occupied by people or is relatively dangerous. What I'm looking for is the kind of small mines that are the size of small islands. After Qin Yun sorted out his thoughts, he was very happy. If everything went well, he could find a lot of small ores. Although it would not be comparable to those huge ores, it would be enough for him and Malur to use the divine universe golden stone. The location of the underground city has the power of the heavens, so there must be earth energy. I have to run around everywhere to sense the earth energy. As long as Qin Yun can sense the earth energy and wait for Maluru's feeling to come, he can let Maluru come out and let her lock onto the divine universe golden stone. Maluru's perception is much stronger than those tools. However, she needs to wait for the feeling to come. A day later, Qin Yun's mental power rose to 60, but he did not feel any difference. To be able to increase your mental energy by 10 points in a day is very fast. If you have enough divine universe goldstones, you will be able to quickly reach 100 or even several hundred. Many people in the 8th or 9th level of the divine universe realm might not even have such a strong mental energy. Qin Yun secretly curled his lips. Taisher said this to deliberately provoke him to earn divine universe golden stone and then put it into the divine king heavenly seal to increase his mental power or cultivate something. If he wants to become stronger, he can only pour a large amount of divine universe golden stone into the divine king heavenly seal. White sky. Qin Yun looked at the 6 myriad realms divine suns in the sky and cursed the 9 suns Dharma spirit in his heart. Then, he began to sense the power of the heavens. His current location is not far from the destroyed underground city. He released 60 points of mental power in one breath and can sense that he is still in the area covered by the power of the heavens. Very good. Next, I will start pouring my mental power into the earth to sense the earth energy. This step is rather difficult because the area covered by the power of the heavens is very large, but there is not much earth energy in this area. In order to sense the earth energy, he needs to run everywhere and pour his mental power into the ground every certain distance. At the same time, he needs to confirm whether he is still in the range of the power of the heavens. Chapter 2981. Qin Yun has the Divine King Heavenly Seal, so he can quickly recover his mental power. However, it does not mean that he can continuously consume mental power. This will cause his soul and divine universe to become fatigued. Every time he arrives at a place, he would first use it to sense the heavenly power to ensure that he is within the range of the heavenly power. Then he would send his mental power deep into the ground to sense the earth energy. If he can't sense the earth energy, then he would run to another place and let his soul and divine universe rest during this time. At another place, he would repeat what he did before until he could sense the earth energy. If I had that kind of probing tool, I would be able to find golden stone mines by myself, but most of them would be big mines. Qin Yun is sure that he is still in the outer region of 9 Sun Holy Land. The outer region has a region covered by the heavenly power and the range is very large. Did the booklet Yu Li Fan gave you say how many earth energy regions there are in a region covered by the heavenly power? Taisher asked. According to their many years of experience, A large region covered by the heavenly power has at least 1 big, 3 medium, 5 small and 7 micro. There is 1 large-scale mine, 3 medium-scale mines, 5 small-scale mines, 7 micro-scale mines and many scattered divine universe golden stones. Qin Yun took out the booklet and opened one of the pages for Taisher to see. After that, Yun ran around everywhere and started busying himself with his prospecting career. He discovered that at night, when the divine moon shines brightly, he only needs to use 40 mental power to sense that he is within the range of the heavenly power. This can save him a lot of divine universe golden stones. He continuously changed more than 20 points to test. After several days, he finally sensed the earth energy. Moreover, it is currently nighttime. Earth energy, this is earth energy, Qin said. After Yun sent 60 mental power into the ground, he felt that when his mental power attacked the ground, it was hit by a powerful air current. This is a feeling he never felt before after trying for more than 20 times. He is very excited, so he decided to try again. He tried again. This time the feeling is different from before. Previously, his mental power was hit by a backlash, but this time, his mental power flowed along with the air current. Of course, this feeling disappeared in an instant. It is more or less the same as the description in the booklet Yu Lifan gave him. There's Earth Qi nearby. I wonder how big it is. Qin Yun floated high in the sky and opened his heavenly eye to look at the ground. Even though he used all his mental power, he could not see any earthen qi deep underground. He took out more than a dozen positioning signals. Some emitted soul waves and some emitted spatial wave. He placed them at several points in this area. Even if he lost a few of them, he would still be able to sense this place. Milu-Er's feeling hasn't come yet, so Qin Yun can't let her come out to sense the divine universe goldstone. Malheur told Qin Yun that she would have this strange feeling for a few days every month. When this ability appeared, Malheur's original blue hair would turn red. Therefore, Qin Yun wanted to find a few more areas with earth qi before Malheur sensed it. This way, when she sensed it, he could immediately take her to look for ores in several areas with earth qi. After running for a few more days, Qin Yun left the earth qi region and found another earth qi region. Now he had already found 2 areas with earth qi. Qin Yun, when those heaven-opening ancient clan elders sensed the earth qi region, did they discover that it was a small mine? If they discovered it, did they want it or not? Taisher is very curious. They will divide the work and determine the earth qi region. If the earth qi region is small, they won't go any further and will continue to look for large and medium mines. They will determine the size of the mine according to the size of the earth qi region. Qin Yun said. Then what level of mine are the 2 earth qi regions you found? Taisher said. If it's a large mine and it hasn't been discovered, then it's a big profit. Qin Yun shook his head and said, if it's a large mine, I should be able to see someone mining it, or there might be a dangerous area nearby. What I found might be a small earth qi region. This kind of mine is generally very safe and very difficult to discover. After more than 10 days of prospecting, Qin Yun discovered that his soul divine universe has withered a lot. He can feel that his spirit is very poor and he always feels like sleeping. After finding 2 earth qi regions, he is now a lot more at ease. He can rest in peace for a few days and wait for Malheur's feeling to appear. Qin Yun rested well for 2 days. Malheur suddenly ran out of the 9 Sun Divine Soul. She can now freely enter and exit the 9 Sun Divine Soul. Qin Yun is hiding in a stone room deep underground. His 9 Sun Heaven-raising pagoda has already been damaged and cannot be repaired in a short period of time. He plans to collect enough divine universe heavenly bones to strengthen the 9 Sun Heaven-raising pagoda. Big brother, look at me, my hair is red. Malheur's hair is red, my feeling is coming. Not only Malheur's hair turned red, her beautiful eyes also turned red. Spirit Yun helped her tie up a pair of long ponytails. At this moment, she grabbed her ponytails with both hands and happily danced in front of Qin Yun. I have red hair, I can help Big Brother find golden crisps. Because Malheur can help Qin Yun, she is so happy that she is dancing with joy. Seeing Malheur's innocent and lively appearance, Qin Yun was also infected. He cannot help but laugh and asked, Malheur, can you feel any golden crisps nearby now? The place he is at is the second Earth-Chi region he found. If Malheur can't sense the Divine Universe Golden Stone, then he can only run around with Malheur at night. Big Brother, I will start looking for golden crisps now. Malheur's big red eyes suddenly flashed with red light. Qin, the divine mirror of great beginning in Yun's hand, suddenly trembled. Just now, when Taisher sensed Malheur's mental power, he said in surprise, this little girl's mental power actually reached more than 3,000. What? 3,000? Qin Yun was shocked and quickly asked Taisher, Big Brother, did you see wrong? No, I am absolutely not mistaken. Moreover, her mental power is very special. It can turn into a gust of wind, travel through the earth, sweep the ground and quickly scan whether or not there is a divine universe golden stone. Taisher said in surprise, the universe is so big there are all kinds of strange things. After Malheur released a powerful mental power just now, her red hair suddenly became a lot lighter and her red eyes also gradually became lighter. Malheur, are you tired? Qin Yun is worried that she will be very tired and hurriedly asked. I'm not tired, I just want to eat some golden crisps. Malheur took out the Divine Universe Golden Stone, stuffed it into a fruit and mixed it up. After eating more than 10 fruits with Divine Universe Golden Stone, the red color of her hair gradually deepened and returned to its original color. Taisher said to Qin Yun, the mental power wind she released just now should be able to search underground. This is really a magical ability. Chapter 2982. Malheur's search for the Divine Universe Golden Stone is not something that can be found immediately. She now needs to concentrate and control the mental space wind that she released to search underground. Malheur, do you think there are Divine Universe Golden Stones in this area? Qin Yun saw Malheur's ability, and it reminded him of the group of human ghosts. When those human ghosts traveled deep underground, they also looked like mental energy wind. Strangely, only Qin Yun could see those human ghosts. Yes, I can feel it, I need to look carefully. Malheur also gradually became serious. When she was about to sit down, Qin Yun quickly took out a chair for her to sit down. She sat down, although her eyes are looking forward, it is as if she is controlling the mental space wind. Malheur's red hair state only exists for a few days every month. Qin Yun found a few Earth-Chi areas in advance, so that Malheur can use her red hair state to quickly find Divine Universe Golden Stone from the Earth-Chi area. Otherwise, Qin Yun would need more time to run around Heaven Power area with her, and they would have to face a certain amount of danger. At first, Malheur opened her beautiful red eyes wide, then gradually closed them. Her long red hair gently fluttered, releasing a faint red glow. Taisher transmitted his voice to Qin Yun. She is currently strengthening the mental space power wind. She can cross space and send her mental space power out to strengthen the wind. This will allow her to expand the range of her search. Qin Yun is secretly amazed by Malheur's ability. Old brother Taisher, didn't you say that after cultivating mental space wind, you can use your consciousness to fly in the sky? Then can I be like Malheur? Qin Yun's heart is moved. If he could also master this method, it would be even better. You can't. At most, you can only separate a small group of souls to swim under the ground, and the range of your perception is limited. Unless you have thousands or even tens of thousands of spiritual energy, you can only do what Malheur did. Taisher said, Malheur can burst out her mental power to 200, then through her innate ability, she can turn her mental power into a gust of wind and blow underground. Miller's mental space wind will know whether there is a divine universe golden stone or not. If there is a divine universe golden stone, then she will use her mental power to mark that location. When her mental space wind reaches the limit of its search range, she can mark many points with divine universe golden stone and then go look for them. Qin Yun suddenly realized that Miller's powerful ability is indeed very heaven-defying. She was used by the Golden Universe sect in his hometown for many years. It can be said that she is very important and should be valued. But later on, the Golden Universe sect was pressured to hand Miller over to the so-called Destroyers. In order to avoid the Destroyers, Miller traveled through the vast universe and finally arrived at the God Desolate. If that group of Destroyers could really catch up, then Qin Yun would have to face a new powerful enemy. He did not know what kind of Destroyers they were. He had not even fully figured out what kind of creature Maruru was. Her spirit power should be around 300, but when she explodes, it's 3,000. This is 10 times the explosive power, truly too terrifying. Taisher said. Grand Primes were Dharma spirits. Powerful Dharma spirits like them mainly cultivated mental power. Therefore, he is very clear about how terrifying it is to be able to increase one's spirit power by 10 times. If Miller's spirit power is 1,000, then 10 times is more than 10,000. Just thinking about it is terrifying. Miller's search time is very long. It took her 2 days to finish searching the limit of her search range. During this period, she ate many fruits and divine universe golden stone to recover her consumption. Qin Yun discovered that if she consumed a large amount of spirit power, the color of her hair would gradually fade. As long as she ate divine universe golden stone, she would quickly recover. Qin Yun is somewhat puzzled. Miller does not need too many divine universe golden stones to recover her spirit power. And he himself needs 1,000,000 divine universe golden stones to recover his spirit power through the Divine King Heavenly Seal. He doesn't know if it is because of the Divine King Heavenly Seal or because Miller's innate ability is too strong. He plans to ask Yulifan next time what kind of things an ordinary person would need to quickly recover their spirit power. Big brother, I finished searching, there are so many golden stones here. After Miller finished searching, her face is filled with a sweet smile. Did you find any place with the most? Qin Yun asked. This is the first time he cooperated with Miller. They need to communicate with each other to make their cooperation better. There is a place with a lot of golden crisps and even more scattered golden crisps. I have marked more than 100 places. I will take you to find them immediately. Miller pulled Qin Yun and wanted to take him to the space shuttle. Miller, take me directly to the place with the most golden stones. Qin Yun said with smile. Our time is limited and it is also very dangerous here. We just need to find the place with the most, don't look for the scattered ones. Ah, there are also many scattered golden stones in my hometown, they absolutely won't let go of them. Even if it is a small one, they want me to find it. Miller whispered. Obviously, this was her habit and she was forced to do so. Qin Yun smiled and touched her face. You must be very tired to find so many scattered ones. Moreover, it will take a lot of time. Later when you find the most, you can stop. Miller nodded. Then now take me to the place with the most, it is best not to go underground. Let's go in the air, okay? Qin Yun asked. If they went to the underground of the mining area and there happened to be powerful foreign creatures mining, it would be very dangerous. Yes. Miller took Qin Yun's hand and then left through space. In the blink of an eye, they were in the air. It is now night and Miller can also come out. After coming to the air, she pointed to the large flat ground below and said, Brother, there are a lot of golden stones down there. How can we take all the golden stones? Only the 2 of us? Yang, Sister Yuner also come out to help? No need for them, I can take all of them. Qin Yun said with smile, but I have to make sure that there are no other dangerous things down there. If there are no, then we can proceed. This mine has not been discovered, it should be a small mine, which is the most suitable for Qin Yun. Next, with the help of Miller, Qin Yun determined the scope of the small mine. It is 10,000 meters wide. The Divine Universe golden stones below are relatively fragmented, not the kind of giant Divine Universe golden stones that are formed in one piece. As for the total number, Qin Yun and Miller could not estimate it. They can only know after digging it out. Chapter 2983. Divine Universe golden stones are formed very deep underground. Qin Yun is now digging out the top layer of soil. He has to dig very deep. This reminded him of the huge deep pit in the underground city. He suspected that the reason why it was blasted to such a state was to take away the Divine Universe golden stones underground. This means that there is a huge piece of Divine Universe golden stone near the underground city. Miller saw that Qin Yun is busy digging. She plans to use this time to find the scattered Divine Universe golden stones she marked before. Qin Yun is very worried about her, so he did not let her go. While digging, he released Sky Universe Overlord. This puppet can become very big, it is also very fast when digging. It can save Qin Yun a lot of trouble. Of course, he can also use powerful Divine Universe power to bombard the ground, but this will cause a lot of movement. Now he has to do this kind of thing quietly. If it attracted powerful outer space beasts, it will be very troublesome. Now there is no group of human ghosts. If a large number of outer space beasts and beastmen suddenly come over, he can only quickly run away. Therefore, he did not allow Miller to run out by herself. This is not a death zone like the no man's area. Miller has stayed in the no man's area for too long, she has not seen anything stronger. Qin Yun knows that Miller's mental power is very strong, but it is hard to say in other aspects, especially when it comes to those outer space beasts. Miller, you go first and go with Yang Yang and the others. Qin Yun moved away the very hard and thick layer of soil above. He is preparing to move the Divine Universe golden stones underground. I can help. Miller wants to help Qin Yun. Qin Yun asked her before whether or not she can directly make the Divine Universe golden stones float up. She can't do it, but she can cross space and go underground to take them one by one. This is too slow, so Qin Yun let her wait inside the 9 Sun Divine Soul. Because after he takes out a large number of Divine Universe golden stones, it might attract the outer space beasts. It will be very dangerous. Miller, rest well, I still have more important things for you to help me with. Qin Yun said with smile. I will rest well. Miller is still in red hair state, she has been red hair for almost 3 days. Qin Yun estimates that she can maintain this state for about 6 or 7 days, so he has to hurry. Next, Qin Yun floated in the air and released his Divine Universe power many times, condensing it into supergravity that enveloped a large area below. By controlling supergravity, he can make heavy things lighter. Divine Universe golden stones are very heavy and soil is definitely lighter than Divine Universe golden stones. Qin Yun sent supergravity into the ground and covered all the Divine Universe goldstones. Then, by controlling gravity, he made the Divine Universe goldstones float up. He had used this move before, but he had only used it on some ordinary ores. Those ores were not heavy, so he could carry it out very smoothly. The Divine Universe goldstones were very heavy and there were many of them. This was a huge test for Qin Yun. This won't do, this area is too big, I need to do it. Qin Yun had underestimated the amount of Divine Universe goldstone below, causing him to be unable to complete it in one go. He divided the area into 10 sections, and then divided them into stages. Even if he did it 10 times, it was still very draining. Thankfully, he had the godly King Heaven Mark to help him recover quickly, so he could still bear it. Now, he is even more certain that only this kind of small mine is suitable for him. Otherwise, even if he found an uninhabited medium or large-sized or mine, it would be very difficult for him to take it away safely. Qin Yun injected a gravitational force into the ground, making things that were heavier underground become weightless. Then he released another gravity force in the sky. This gravity force is used to draw out the light divine universe golden stones underground. Gradually, a large area of soil suddenly bulged up. Many large and small stones slowly drilled out of the soil and floated up. There are many stones, but they are not divine universe golden stones. Most of the divine universe metal ores were sandwiched between the rocks or mixed with the rock. Some are not completely evolved divine universe golden stones, some have turned into divine universe golden stones. This kind of divine universe golden stones will need to be filtered later. It can be said that most of the stones floating up now are ores. They need to be further refined to become true divine universe golden stones. Qin Yun not only expends his divine universe power to release the supergravity force, he also has to use his mental universe power to transfer the ores into the nine-yang divine soul. He saw many dazzling divine universe golden stones in the large area of floating soil. He felt a sense of accomplishment. His efforts over the past few days have not been in vain. Qin Yun did not dare to rest because when the ores were unearthed, they released many fluctuations. He used the Godly King Heavenly Seal to recover his energy before he started the next transfer. He did this 8 times and 2 days have passed. After he expended his energy, he used the Godly King Heavenly Seal to recover. After repeating this so many times, he is reaching his limit, but he can still persevere. He has transferred 8 parts of this small ore. Only 2 parts are left. It is noon. Qin Yun has just used the Godly King Heavenly Seal to recover his mental universe power and divine universe power when he suddenly sensed a powerful aura. The Heavenly Eye Avatar released in the sky can see hundreds of outer space beasts and more than 100 outer space beastmen. They are rushing over under the scorching sun. Damn it, I have been sensed. Qin Yun immediately started transferring the 9th part. After he finished, he recovered his energy and left immediately. Just as he left, the group of Outer Universe Beastmen arrived. The Outer Universe Beastmen had tamed their beasts and brought them over. Qin Yun got Malheur to come out and help him see which part has the most divine universe golden stones. He is very strong, so he transferred the part with the most divine universe golden stones first. Therefore, there are very few divine universe golden stones left in the remaining part. Qin Yun has not checked how many divine universe golden stones he obtained this time. He needs to refine and filter them before he can calculate them. However, during this period of time, he has been sensing the heaven and earth qi. In addition, he has transferred a large amount of divine universe golden stones 9 times. He has used the divine universe golden stones to replenish his energy through the Godly King Heavenly Seal. He has used up a total of 4 billion divine universe golden stones. Fortunately, he has a few billion on him. Now, he has earned back the divine universe golden stones he obtained from the small ore. Malheur's red hair state is still there. She said she can maintain it for 2 more days. Qin Yun immediately brought her to the 2nd Earth Qi region. These 2 days are enough for Malheur to find the location of the golden stone mine. What makes him not know whether to laugh or cry is that Malheur is still thinking about the more than 100 scattered divine universe golden stones. She has used her mental universe power to mark them. In the next 10 days, she will be able to sense the location of those divine universe golden stones. Qin Yun promised her that he will find those scattered divine universe golden stones with her. Chapter 2984. Qin Yun brought Malheur to the 2nd Earth Qi region and then went deep underground. This will allow Malheur to release mental space wind to sweep the underground of this region. Luer, this time don't mark the small ones, just find the biggest ones. Qin Yun said with smile. This way you can also relax a lot. Brother, what is this place? Why were there always so many golden crisps? This is very rare in my hometown, Miller said, then began to release the mental wind to search for gold and stone mines. How many golden crisps can you find in your hometown? Qin Yun asked. It's about the size of a house, about the size of Sister Yun-er's room, Miller said. Only this divine universe goldstone is as big as a room. It is the biggest one that Malur found in her hometown. Qin Yun can't help but wonder if divine universe goldstones are scarce in her hometown. Then, Qin Yun began to learn about the situation in Malur's hometown. He began to worry that even if Malur was in the divine wilderness, she might still be found by those destroyers. Therefore, he needed to understand the situation of Malur's hometown so that he could be prepared. Qin Yun did not learn too much about her hometown from Maruru. The main thing was that she was born in Jinyu sect and had no parents. When she was a little girl, she began to be trained to look for mines. It could be said that she had always been treated as a tool to search for divine universe metal stones. Moreover, the Golden Universe sect did not give her many divine universe metal stones to eat, causing her cultivation to always be limited to a certain range. Milu had been lonely since she was a child. She wanted to be part of a group. She wanted to have her own friends, her own companions, and play with them happily. It could be seen that she had always maintained the innocence of a child. Her thoughts had not matured, and she was still the same as when she was young. Because of this, she had always been used and her cultivation had always been suppressed. For the sake of the divine universe metal stone, others would only lie to her on the surface or threaten her. They would often threaten that they wouldn't be friends with her. Until one day, when the destroyer arrived, no one admitted that they were Malur's friends. The Golden Universe sect also decisively handed Malur over. Milu felt very sad at that moment. When she told Qin Yun about it, her eyes were moist. At that time, Qin Yun comforted her, saying that she should be happy to have such sincere companions like Yang Yang and the others. Only then did she immediately smile. Milu was always looking for divine universe golden stone underground, so she didn't know much about her hometown. Therefore, she didn't know what the destroyer was. She only heard that he wanted to capture her and take her life. Qin Yun analyzed according to Malur's words. After his analysis and conjecture, he felt that everyone in the Golden Universe sect knew that Malur would definitely be captured by the destroyer. Thus, from the very beginning, they had used Malur as a tool. Moreover, they would not give her too many divine universe golden stones, only enough for her to recover. In addition, Malur's hometown was very short of divine universe golden stones. It was very likely that they would not be able to condense divine universe golden stones for a long time, and over time, they would become scarce. The people of Golden Universe sect had become insane for the sake of the divine universe golden stone. They had joined forces to bully a simple little girl like Malur, and they had bullied her for so many years. Knowing what happened to Malur, Qin Yun felt sympathy and anger at the same time. If you eat the golden crispy, will it make you stronger? Qin Yun asked. After I eat it, my strength will become stronger. But I think it would be better to give it to Big Brother. Malur whispered. I can't bear to eat too much now. Silly girl, after you become stronger, Big Brother won't have to worry about you anymore. Qin Yun smiled and caressed her face. Big Brother, if I become stronger, you won't have to protect me anymore, right? You don't want me anymore? Malur suddenly puffed up her cheeks and pursed her lip. She was a little sad. Qin Yun shook his head with a smile and said, How could that be? After Malur becomes stronger, she can help Big Brother beat up the bad guys. You don't know, there are many big bad guys who want to destroy Big Brother. After you become stronger, you can protect Big Brother. What kind of big bad guys? Malur was a little sad just now, but now she became very angry and worried. There are all kinds of bad guys, so Malheur has to eat more golden crispy and become stronger, so that Big Brother won't be afraid of those big bad guys. Qin Yun said with a smile. Malheur looked like a slim and elegant woman, but her thinking was like that of a little girl. Again, in addition, she has been bullied for many years and has no true friend. Now that she met Qin Yun and Ling Yuner, she feels very warm and does not want to leave them. She is now very worried that one day she will be abandoned by Qin Yun and Ling Yuner. In order to dispel this idea, Qin Yun deliberately said that he needed her help, needed her to become stronger. This way she would not think like this anymore, and she would also not be reluctant to eat those Divine Universe Golden Stones. Qin Yun said before that the Divine Universe Golden Stones he found would be equally divided with Malheur. Otherwise, it would be equivalent to using Malheur as a tool for prospecting, no different from those guys from Golden Universe sect. Qin Yun wants to change Malheur's current concept, let her know how much she has to pay, how much she will get in return, and teach her to know how to resist and fight against strong enemies. Otherwise, with Malheur's ability, she would have already left. The reason why she has been kept by Golden Universe sect for so many years is because she has been instilled with all kinds of slavery ideas since childhood. This time, Malheur did not need to mark those scattered Divine Universe Golden Stones, so she quickly found the area with the most Divine Universe Golden Stones. Big brother, I found a place with a lot of golden crisps. This place is too magical, how can there be so many golden crisps? Malheur suddenly shouted excitedly. This time, it only took her half a day to find the location of the golden stone mine. Compared to the previous place, how much? Qin Yun asked. Much more than before. After Malheur finished speaking, she frowned and said, But I seem to sense something moving there are a lot of them. Compared to the previous small mine, there are a lot of them, that is a medium-sized golden stone mine. A medium-sized golden stone mine has moving things and there are a lot of them, it means that it has been discovered and occupied by someone. Qin Yun still doesn't know what has occupied it, but he has already asked Malheur to mark it. Let's go and take those scattered golden crisps first. Qin Yun said with a smile. If we don't take them, you will definitely think about them all day long. Malheur just smiled sweetly, then pulled Qin Yun and went through space to take more than 100 Divine Universe Golden Stones that she marked before. Because Malheur can travel through space, the process is relatively fast and easy. Adding up, there are not many, there are large and small ones, there are only about 1 billion Divine Universe Golden Stones. Search looking for Divine Universe Golden Stones seems to be a part of Malheur's life, so after she found them, she is very happy. Chapter 2985. After finding the scattered Divine Universe Goldstones, Qin Yun asked Malheur to take him to the vicinity of the medium-sized goldstone mine. Malheur originally planned to bring Qin Yun directly to the sky above the medium-sized metalstone mine, but Qin Yun said that it was very dangerous there. She did not know what kind of danger there was, so Qin Yun did not tell her. After arriving near the medium-sized golden stone mine, Malheur entered the 9-Sun Divine Soul and went to another pearl of the 9-Sun Divine Soul with Ling Yuner. That inside this pearl, there is a large number of ores that Qin Yun produced. They want to filter out these ores. Malheur was very good at this. After she came here, she was sure that this was the batch of Divine Universe Golden Stones that she had sensed before. After knowing that Qin Yun had collected so many Divine Universe Golden Stones in such a short period of time, she admired Qin Yun even more. Qin Yun was near the medium-sized gold stone mine. She could sense the aura of alien creatures. She was sure that the medium-sized gold stone mine had already been occupied by alien creatures. What a pity! Qin Yun originally thought that he would be able to obtain 2 small mines. This way, his harvest this time would not be small. But now, he had sensed that there was a medium-sized gold stone mine in the Earth-Chi region. Qin, the fact that you can sense the earth energy here means that the earth energy has not been destroyed. Taisher said, in other words, that place hasn't been completely mined yet. At most, it has just been mined. I'll go check it out first. If they haven't gone deep underground, I can quietly dig a small part of it. There was quite a number of Divine Universe goldstones in the V-shaped goldstone mine. If Qin Yun were to secretly dig it out by himself, given enough time, he would be able to dig out quite a lot. In any case, he still had a lot of time. Great Divine Lord would only go find Yushieji in 3 months. This Malheur felt that last month had passed, so he still had another chance to look for the Divine Universe Golden Stone next month. Therefore, he had to make good use of this time and obtain as many Divine Universe Golden Stones as possible. In the 3rd month, he would be able to use this batch of Divine Universe Golden Stones to cultivate. His next cultivation plan was to increase the upper limit of his Divine Cosmic Force. Goblin. Although Divine Universe Force and Divine Universe Heavenly Bone were important, they consumed a great deal of Divine Universe Goldstone. Currently, to deal with the Great Divine Lord, with Qin Yun's current physical body and 60 points of mental power, it was definitely enough. Baiga Godly Monarch's body and soul were not as powerful as Qin Yun's. The greatest difference between Qin Yun and the Great Divine King was still the Divine Cosmos power. The Great Divine Lord could release 3,000 Divine Universe power, while Qin Yun could only release 1,200. In these 3 months, the Great Divine Lord might be able to raise it to 4,000 to 5,000. If Qin Yun could have the upper limit of 3,000 Divine Universe powers, then defeating the Great Divine Lord would be very stable. Qin. After Cloud turned invisible, he flew in the sky. He went to investigate at night. At night, the moonlight of the heavenly god Moon shone on him. Coupled with his mental energy, he could hide his aura even better and strengthen his perception. This was mainly because he had previously cultivated the mental Nether Moon and the Divine Moon Tao Idol. Now, his mental energy and the Divine Moon of the heavens could fuse very well. Qin Yun carefully flew for an hour and finally arrived at the top of the medium-sized golden stone mine. There are already 3 large and deep pits dug out here. Each of them is 10,000 meters wide. It's been mined for a while, but they haven't dug to the layer with the most ores, only the surface layer. Cloud looked down and discovered that many huge outer space beasts and outer space beastmen are frantically digging down. Strange, why do the outer space beasts and outer space beastmen look like slaves? Qin Yun carefully observed for a while, and felt that it is very strange. According to his investigation, the outer space beasts and outer space beastmen below are not weak. These powerful outer space creatures are actually digging with all their might. It is very likely that they are being threatened. Qin Yun immediately thought of the outer space humans. Only there are outer space humans with this kind of formidable power to enslave these outer space creatures. Qin Yun continued to observe the surrounding environment. He wanted to see if there are any outer space humans nearby. If it is really as he guessed, then there must be outer space humans supervising the work nearby. There shouldn't be too many outer space humans. With their strength, just a small team is enough. Taisher said, I discovered some houses that seem to be built by the heaven-opening ancient race. Qin Yun's discovery immediately made him think of many things. This mine originally belonged to the heaven-opening ancient race, but it was later robbed. With the heaven-opening ancient race's ability, they must have found those large and medium-sized golden stone mines in this heaven power region. This heaven power region is at the edge of the 9-sun Holy Land, so it is normal for the heaven-opening ancient race to prioritize mining. After all, transportation is more convenient, and if they encounter any danger, they can immediately ask for reinforcements. However, and this mine was still robbed. This means that the outer space people have meticulously planned this heaven power region, so much so that the heaven-opening ancient race can't quickly come to help. Outer space people are really hard to deal with. Qin Yun is now very vigilant. Since it is a mine occupied by outer space people, there must be outer space people around. But Qin Yun did not find any trace of outer space people. Although it is night time now, there should be outer space people supervising or patrolling. Qin Yun cannot see any outer space people, but he still doesn't dare to be careless. Outer space people are quite crafty, you must be more careful. Qin Yun, you should give up. Moving this mine is too risky, Taisher said. Qin Yun doesn't want to give up because the small mine from before is not enough to satisfy him. I'll go deep and give it a try, Qin Yun said. They did not directly go deep to mine. They might not have found the deepest layer with the most divine universe golden stone. The Yu people did not sense it, which means that their mining ability is not strong, so they only dug the 3 mines left by the heaven-opening ancient race. Just as Qin Yun is about to enter the depths, he suddenly sensed many powerful auras suddenly erupt. It is the aura of outer space people and the heaven-opening ancient race people. That all appeared at the same time, which means that the heaven-opening ancient race people are hiding and attacking. Outside, the Yu people sensed the attack of the heaven-opening ancient race people and reacted very quickly. They immediately appeared and entered battle mode. They are indeed people from the heaven-opening ancient race. They were beaten away before and now they are back to steal? Qin Yun said with a frown. I wonder if they can beat them. Qin Yun can't help much in this kind of battle because the people participating are all at the 4th or 5th level of the divine universe realm. They are all heaven-opening ancient race people who have returned from the outerverse. They have rich experience fighting against outer space people. Open not long after the heaven ancient race people launched their attack, a large number of outer space beasts and beastmen joined the battle. Open although there are more than 100 heaven ancient race people, they are still too few compared to the outer space creatures. They are immediately surrounded. Chapter 2986. Quickly retreat. The person leading the group was an old man. His cultivation was also at the 8th level of the divine universe realm. After shouting loudly, the others immediately retreated, leaving only the old man and a dozen or so middle-aged men behind to cover the retreat of the others. There were more than 100 people on the side of the heaven ancient race. Although there were only 50 or so outsiders, they had a large number of beastmen and beasts. Outside, the people of the universe didn't need to make a move. They just needed to let the group of beasts and beastmen attack the heaven ancient race crazily. Then, the outsiders would sneak attack from time to time. Could it be that they didn't expect the strength of the outsiders? Qin Yun watched as the group of people retreated. In the end, the old man and the dozen or so middle-aged men also successfully retreated. Only then did he heave a sigh of relief. Only now did Yun realize that there was something squirming under the calm ground just now. Thinking about it carefully, he knew that there were a large number of beasts and beastmen hiding underground. This was also something that the heaven ancient race did not expect, so they had to immediately retreat as soon as they arrived. Qin Yun had originally planned to go deep underground and quietly dig out a small portion of the divine universe golden stone. But now it seemed that even if he went deep, he might be discovered. He had learned that many of the beasts and beastmen from the outer space could drill into the ground and walk very easily underground. The outsiders didn't dig deep. Could it be that they planned to dig up the surface layer and then dig deeper? Qin Yun asked. Yun also dispelled the idea of going deep underground. The medium-sized golden stone mine was too closely watched, so it was very difficult for him to have a chance to make a move. Right now, he could only follow the group of heaven ancient race members and understand the situation from them. He wanted to ask about the underground city. The outsiders did not chase after them, because it was very likely that the heaven ancient race members would leave the Nine Sun sacred land, so there was no point in them chasing after them. If they were ambushed on the way, they might even suffer losses. Qin Yun carefully followed them in the air. Right now, he was using his mental power to conceal himself, so the old man at the 8th level of the Divine Universe realm did not discover that he was following him. I hid well. Just as Qin Yun was feeling complacent, he suddenly felt a strong mental power sweep over, as if it was blowing past his body. Not good, I've been discovered. Qin Yun was alarmed. That's it. Right at this moment, that old man at the 8th level of the Divine Firmament realm turned his head and looked over. His eagle-like eyes seemed to shoot out 2 cold arcs of lightning. And at the same time, Qin Yun felt a terrifying aura attack him. The old man arrived in front of him in the blink of an eye. "Senior, he is one of us!" Qin Yun immediately shouted and then appeared. Previously, he was invisible, but at that time, he was detected, which meant that 8th level Divine Universe realm old man's spiritual force was still very strong. "Why are you here alone? Furthermore, you are following us?" The elder could tell at a glance that Qin Yun was not an outsider. As long as they were not aliens, there was nothing to be afraid of. Qin Yun hurriedly took out his identity card and said, "I am a disciple of the Imperial Heaven sect." Most of the troops were still on their way and didn't stop. In the group, there were still more than a dozen 7th level Divine Universe realm elders. Those were all of the same strength as Yu Yuan, and could also be considered a guarantee of safety. "You are Qin Yun?" When the old man saw the identity card, he was very surprised and said, "Who did you come in with?" Qin Yun, the Divine King, was still quite famous in the eyes of the heaven-splitting ancient race's elders. Of previously, he helped the heaven-splitting ancient race take away that huge piece of divine firmament black gold, which left a deep impression on the elders. "I came in by myself," Qin Yun said. "Nonsense, how could you run in by yourself? The Nine-Sun Holy Land is very dangerous now, much more dangerous than the last time you came in," the old man sternly reprimanded. He was just more concerned, just like how an elder cared about a junior. Because in his eyes, no matter how strong Qin Yun was, he was still a junior. His strength was limited, so it was very dangerous for him to run around in the Nine-Sun Holy Land. "Senior, what happened to the underground city? When I arrived, it was already gone," Qin Yun asked. "We are from that underground city. The underground city was attacked by outsiders. They stole our divine firmament golden stone." The old man cursed loudly. These bastards began to move around the edge of the barrier. Then the old man brought Qin Yun and flew towards the large group. The old man's name is Qin Liangjing. He is from the Qin clan. He is not from the Yu clan, but he is in the underground city built by the Yu clan. Thus, in fact, the underground city was not completely built by the Yu clan. Other heaven-splitting ancient race participated in it. It is just that the Yu clan contributed the most. Qin Liangjing is still the manager of the underground city. The underground city was suddenly sneak attacked. Fortunately, the defense was strong enough and everyone was able to smoothly withdraw. When the underground city was attacked, Qin Liangjing led the city protection squad to fight against the outsiders. Only then did the people inside the city successfully withdraw. Originally, there were 200 people defending the city, but now there were only 150 left. All of them had died in battle with the aliens. Qin Wenyun heard this, she lightly sighed. There is a divine firmament golden stone near the underground city, moreover, it is a huge one. After it was discovered by the outsiders, they decided to launch a sneak attack on the underground city. At first, the outsiders let the huge beasts of the outer space move underground and attack the underground city. After getting the people out, the outsiders attacked. The outsiders can enslave the beasts and people of the outer space? Qin Yun said. Isn't that even more difficult to deal with? This is very normal. The outsiders are the strongest existences in their universe. Those beasts and beastmen are far from being a match for the outsiders. Qin Liangjing sighed. Not only did we lose the underground city, we even lost the medium-sized gold stone mine. There should be many people guarding the medium-sized gold stone mine, right? Qin Yun asked. Yes, they all died in battle. The attack of the outsiders this time was very fierce. Even if we were prepared, we still couldn't stop them. Qin Liangjing said. He is also very sad. The medium-sized gold stone mine would have at least the 8th level of the divine firmament realm guarding it. Most of the seniors at the 8th or 9th level of the divine firmament realm know each other. Then why did you go back and launch a sneak attack? This is very risky. Qin Yun found it hard to understand. There is something under the medium-sized gold stone mine. We didn't know about it before and only discovered it later. That kind of thing can't be obtained by the outsiders, so we decided to risk our lives to destroy it. But we underestimated their strength to protect the gold stone mine. Qin Liangjing's face is filled with resentment. He clenched his fists tightly and gritted his teeth. Qin Yun didn't notice anything before, and Miluo also didn't notice anything. What is it? I might be able to destroy it. Qin Yun thought that he could give it a try. He also wanted to help. Chapter 2987. Hearing Qin Yun's words, Qin Liangjing hesitated for a moment, then shook his head and said, No, it's too risky. It's fine. It's more convenient for me to act alone. It's not like I'm going to assassinate powerful aliens. Qin Yun said with smile. I am most proficient in this kind of solo operation. As long as I don't have to face powerful enemies, there will be no problem. Qin Liangjing shook his head repeatedly. But this is equivalent to having you face a powerful enemy. The strength of the outsiders is far above yours. Even the weakest of the aliens stationed at that medium-sized metal stone mine could easily defeat you. Qin Yun said with a smile. It's not like I'm going to find them directly. I'm moving stealthily. I can dive deep underground. You said that there's something in a medium-sized metal stone mine, so it must be deep underground. Liangjing said, I sent some people to infiltrate from the depths before, but they failed in the end. They guarded that thing to the death. The person I sent was lucky enough to escape, because he had a powerful innate ability. He was in the 7th tier of the divine space realm, but he almost died. What is that thing? Qin Yun became even more curious. There was something beneath the medium-sized goldstone mine that the heaven-opening race had only just discovered. That sort of thing usually grows in the center of a goldstone mine. It can be considered a type of plant, but at the same time, it isn't. At the moment, we can't be sure whether it's a medicinal ingredient or not. Qin Liangjing said. It's a type of flower that we call the Divine Universe Crystal Flower. Yun's heart skipped a beat. He believed that it would definitely be very useful. He planned on asking Taisher what it was later. Can this flower be eaten? Asked Qin Yun. We can't eat it. We still don't know how to use it. The ancient dragon clan obtained one before and asked the alchemists of the various clans to participate in the research. I'm not sure what the exact situation is now. Qin Liangjing said, I only know that the people from the outer universe attach great importance to it, so it must be of great use to them. Yun said, Senior, where is that flower? I can really give it a try. If it's too dangerous, I can definitely escape. Don't even think about it, just retreat with us. Qin Liangjing said. Senior, didn't you say that you would destroy the Divine Universe Crystal Flower at all costs? Qin Yun asked again. Why are you giving up now? He believed that Qin Liangjing was hiding something about the Divine Universe Crystal Flower. For destroying the Divine Space Crystal Flower actually required the City Defense Squad to sacrifice their lives. That meant that the matter of the Divine Space Crystal Flower was definitely not simple. Qin Liangjing said, If we risk our lives and can really destroy that divine universe crystal flower, then we will definitely go. However, after our previous attack, we realized that even if we sacrificed our lives, it would be of no use, so we could only retreat. Yun had seen them attack before. However, they were surrounded at the very beginning. In the end, they would definitely be annihilated. In addition, there were definitely many aliens hiding nearby, but they had yet to come out. Qin Yun had already decided that she would properly investigate that medium-sized metal stone mine. Even if she couldn't obtain the divine space crystal flower, she would destroy it. Station the heaven-opening clan members guarding the medium-sized metal stone mine had all been killed by the aliens, but they hadn't paid any price. If they let them obtain the precious divine space crystal flower, wouldn't those people have died in vain? Qin Yun had his own plan to go deeper underground more safely. He wanted to escape by himself, but Qin Liangjing was keeping a close eye on him. Qin Liangjing would never allow juniors to take risks. He could already tell that Qin Yun wanted to take risks, so he was constantly watching Qin Yun. With Qin Yun's current strength, it would be very difficult to escape from Qin Liangjing's eyes. Therefore, he could only obediently follow Qin Liangjing's city defense squad and leave the Nine Sun sacred ground. Only once he got out, he would shake off Qin Liangjing and then quietly enter the Nine Sun sacred ground. With the little Queen Ant's help, entering the Nine Sun sacred ground would be a piece of cake. The little Queen Ant liked the divine universe Purple Sun's energy very much. She had been inside for so many years, absorbing the divine universe Purple Sun's energy at all times to become stronger. Qin, every time Yun asked the little Queen Ant for help, he would secretly sigh. How could this cute little fairy master such a powerful ability? Qin, after Qin Liangjing brought Qin Yun back to the team, he didn't tell the others about Qin Yun's identity. He only said that Qin Yun was a survivor of the medium-sized metal stone mine. In Qin Liangjing's eyes, Qin Yun was still relatively important. The others might not know, but he knew that Qin Yun was half a disciple of Shao Qihong. Qin Liangjing Yun must have sneaked into the Nine Sun sacred ground this time. If Shao Qihong found out, Senior Shao Qihong would definitely criticize the Imperial Sky Sect Master. Qin Liangjing and Yu Yuan had a good relationship, so he took care of Qin Yun and let Qin Yun stay by his side, not letting him leave even half a step. Qin Liangjing Yun didn't know about the relationship between Qin Liangjing and Yu Yuan. He was only thinking about how to return to the medium-sized metal stone mine. Follow with the city defense team, they arrived at the Nine Sun Sacred Grounds barrier in just half a day. Then, they found a passage to leave. After entering the passage, people came to receive them one after another. Many of them were seniors at the 7th or 8th level of the Divine Universe realm. They all knew that the underground city had been attacked and were talking to Qin Liangjing with heavy hearts. Qin Liangjing Yun was handed over to an elder of the Imperial Sky sect to bring back. The elder recognized Qin Yun, but he found it strange that Qin Yun had come to the Nine Sun sacred ground. Qin Liangjing didn't say too much to the elder. He only asked the elder to bring the Imperial Sky sect disciple back. The elder arranged for Qin Yun to bring the disciple back to the Imperial Sky sect. Then, Qin Liangjing informed the people guarding the passage to keep an eye on it and don't let disciples with low cultivation secretly enter the Nine Sun sacred ground. Qin Liangjing thought that Qin Yun sneaked in through the passage. He was worried that Qin Yun would go in again. Qin Yun returned to the Imperial Sky sect and immediately sneaked out. In less than half a day, he returned to the Nine Sun sacred ground. After entering the Nine Sun sacred ground, Qin Yun waited until nightfall. Then, he asked Malheur to come out and bring him to the vicinity of the medium-sized metal stone mine. Malheur has already recovered her blue hair. Her red hair state will only appear again after a month. She used her mental power to mark the medium-sized metal stone mine, so she will still be able to sense it for more than 10 days. Big brother, are there many bad guys in that place? Malheur brought Qin Yun back, floated in the air and looked ahead. There are many bad guys, but they can't catch me, Qin Yun said with smile. Malheur, you continue to deal with the golden crispy metal with big sister Yun. After Malheur returned to the Nine-Sun Divine Soul, Qin Yun drilled into the ground and took out the divine mirror of primal beginning. He told old brother Taisher about the divine universe crystal flower. As for what it is exactly, I have to see it to know. In my impression, there is indeed a possibility of something appearing in a large number of divine universe golden stones. Taisher said, I don't remember the specifics. Wait until I see it, I might be able to recall it. Chapter 2988. Qin Yun doesn't even know if he can reach that place. He just suddenly thought of a good method, and felt that there is a high possibility of reaching that place. Old brother Taisher, what will happen if I pour my mental power into the Divine King Heavenly Seal? Qin Yun asked. When you use the Divine King Heavenly Seal to fight, it will erupt with even stronger mental power. Taisher said, You can give it a try. Then what if I pour my mental power into the Divine Mirror of Primal Beginning? Will it allow me to detect the aliens? Qin Yun feels that his mental power is quite strong, but when used with the Heavenly Eye, it is still difficult to see through deep underground. Previously, he didn't know that there are a large number of beastmen and beasts hiding deep underground. Now he wants to enter the core of the mine. In that place there might even be aliens stationed there, so he needed to have a strong perception ability. The Divine Mirror of Primal Beginning can help you sense the aliens, but it will consume a lot of your mental power. Taisher said. How much will it consume? Qin Yun knew that it would be like this. If he consumed his mental power, he would have to use the Divine King Heavenly Seal to replenish it. You will know once you try, Taisher said. Qin Yun is now deep underground. He didn't continue forward because he is worried that he will encounter aliens. Then these aliens, be it beasts or beastmen, all have strong perception ability. If the distance is far, Qin Yun is not afraid of being discovered. But deep underground, he is at a loss. What if he suddenly goes next to an alien beast? If that happened, he might be discovered. If he did not kill that alien beast immediately, he would definitely alarm even more alien beasts, and even the aliens would be alarmed. Qin Yun tightly gripped the handle of the Divine Mirror of Primal Beginning and began pouring in mental power. Just as he poured in, he felt that his mental power has been consumed a lot. Check after the test, there are only 50 left. Only in just an instant, he consumed 10 points of mental power. This consumption is too great. He looking at the Divine Mirror of Primal Beginning, the surface of the mirror is pitch black and there is a golden dot. The golden dot is Qin Yun's current location, and about a few hundred meters away from him there are a few red dots. Those are the aliens. The Divine Mirror of Primordial Beginning can detect a range of about a kilometer. Qin Yun looked at the numbers displayed by the Divine Mirror of Primordial Beginning. It meant that if he walked forward 800 to 900 meters, he would need to conduct another probe. Can the Divine Mirror of Grand Beginning detect the Divine Universe Goldstone? Qin Yun suddenly had an idea. It would be even better if it could detect it. Impossible. Taisher's reply poured a bucket of cold water on Qin Yun. Qin Yun walked forward for about 800 or 900 meters, then used another 10 points of mental energy to scan the surroundings. There's an alien creature in front of us. It looks like a human. It should be an orc. It's quite big. Yun looked at the Divine Mirror of Primordial Beginning and was secretly delighted. A beast man of this size was exactly what he was looking for. Previously, he had thought of a way to sneak into the underground of a medium-sized gold stone mine. He would capture a larger outer universe orc and modify it into an orc puppet. Then, he would sneak in through the orc puppet. Qin Yun immediately went over. He did not know how strong the beastman was. He only knew that the beastman could drill into the ground and was now patrolling back and forth underground. The aliens were afraid that the heaven-opening ancient race would sneak in through the depths, so they sent many beastmen and beasts that could drill into the ground to patrol the depth. Qin Liangjing had previously told Qin Yun that they had previously sent people to infiltrate the mine from deep underground, but they were still discovered in the end. It was clear that they were discovered by the outer universe beastmen and beasts that were patrolling the depths of the earth. To every time the divine mirror of primordial beginning absorbed 10 points of Qin Yun's mental energy, it would fluctuate with a strange energy. After searching for a large living creature nearby, it would mark it. After recording it, it would appear on the divine mirror of primordial beginning. Even if those living creatures were moving, Qin Yun would be able to see them through the divine mirror of primordial beginning. After approaching the giant beastman, he would use the divine mirror of primordial beginning to probe it to see if he could sense how strong it was. How strong is this guy? Can I secretly take it down? Qin Yun asked. I can be sure that these beastmen's souls are far inferior to yours. Since they haven't cultivated soul divine universe, they don't have mental energy. Otherwise, they might discover that you are using the divine mirror of primordial beginning to probe. Tai Shi said. I was using the divine mirror of primordial beginning to probe the surroundings. I wasn't discovered because these guys don't have mental energy? Qin Yun said in surprise. What if there are guys who have cultivated mental energy? Wouldn't I be discovered? No, unless their mental energy is very strong, they might be able to discover the divine mirror of primordial beginnings probe. Of course, if you directly release your mental energy, that might not necessarily be the case. Tai Shi said. The divine mirror of primordial beginning releases very weak and can be hidden very well. It's very difficult to be discovered. Don't worry. Qin Yun heaved a sigh of relief and said, that outer universe beastman doesn't have mental energy. In other words, I can use mental attacks on it. That's right, directly attacking the outer universe beastman's soul is the only way for you to quickly defeat it. But there's still a certain risk. It's very likely that the outer universe beastman will sense your approach. Tai Shi said. That's why after you get close, you better use star-fixing divine art to lock down the outer universe beastman and then use mental energy to attack its soul. Qin Yun immediately took action and quickly entered the tunnel dug out by the outer universe beastman and followed behind it. That outer universe beastman is 3 meters tall and looks like a huge chimpanzee. His entire body is bulging with muscles and he is wearing very thick armor. Qin Yun is following behind the outer universe beastman. Although he is invisible, he still feels that he will be discovered at any time. Outside, the outer universe beastman is very vigilant. He suddenly turned around and looked at Qin Yun's location with his blue eyes. Qin Yun immediately activated the divine mirror of primordial beginning to lock down the outer universe beastman. Then he took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal and poured his mental energy into it. The surface of the Divine King Heavenly Seal shot out a golden light towards the outer universe beastman's head. It is like a mark formed from runes and branded into the outer universe beastman's soul. Only in an instant, the outer universe beastman stood there motionlessly. Qin Yun doesn't know what the outer universe beastman's soul is like. This is the first time he knows that the Divine King Heavenly Seal has this kind of ability. He immediately took out the Soul Lost Dew and used it on the outer universe beastman's soul to erase its consciousness. Then he used the Divine King Heavenly Seal to recover his mental energy. Gorilla, carry me forward. Qin Yun quickly took out the outer universe beastman's soul and put in another puppet soul to control the outer universe beastman. After Qin Yun became invisible, he lied on the outer universe beastman's back and controlled it to move forward. Chapter 2989 Qin Yun has the heavenly puppet inscription spirit, so he quickly used it to condense a set of runes and inserted them into the body of the beastman to control it. The aura of the beastman is very strong. Qin Yun hid his aura and hid himself inside the beastman's body, so it is very difficult to discover him. In order to test whether or not he will be discovered, Qin Yun controlled the beastman to approach a few other patrolling beasts. When they got closer, the foreign beasts all felt fear. Among the creatures of the outer universe, beasts are the lowest level. Beastmen are stronger than beasts, so when beasts see beastmen, they are very respectful, as if they are their boss. In the Nine-Sun Holy Land, beasts are the most numerous, followed by beastmen. Although there are only a small number of beastmen, they are the strongest. They can easily tame beasts and beastmen. Qin Yun is only testing the beastmen. Next, he wants to test whether the beastmen can discover him or not. Beastmen have a certain level of intelligence, they are not as easy to fool as beasts, so Qin Yun can't guarantee that he won't be discovered. Through the divine mirror of primal beginning, he sensed that there are beastmen in the vicinity, so he controlled the gorilla beastman to walk over. This gorilla beastman's speed is rather slow, but his claws are very sharp. He can dig very quickly. Even if he dug up a very solid rock, he can quickly break it. Deep underground, there were many intricate and complicated tunnels. They were dug by beastmen and beasts. Some of the tunnels have collapsed, but the beastmen who can move deep underground are not afraid of being buried. What is the structure of the beastmen's power? They should also have many factions, right? It is impossible for them to be completely united. Qin Yun secretly thought, if this is the case, then the beastmen are not that difficult to deal with. He is afraid that they are united, that is the most dreadful thing. Many powerful forces collapse, most of the time it is not because of external reasons, but because of internal strife. As long as the beastmen are not united, it is very easy to fight them. The beastmen and beastmen enslaved by the beastmen and beastmen means that they are no match for the beastmen and beastmen. You want to use beastmen and beastmen to fight against the beastmen, that won't work, Taisher said. I know, but these beasts and orcs can't always be so weak, right? Qin Yun said. In our cosmos there are many beasts who transformed into humans and became very powerful. Qin Yun lay on the back of the gorilla beastman, and finally arrived beside a few beastmen. These few beastmen are all tiger-headed beastmen. When they saw the gorilla beastmen, they only called out a few times. They did not notice Qin Yun. Beastmen and beasts were unable to sense Qin Yun's presence, but Qin Yun did not let down his guard because he still had to deal with the aliens. Deep underground, there was definitely someone from the universe standing guard. It was just that he didn't know where they were. After approaching the center of the mine, try not to use the divine mirror of primordial beginning to probe it, lest you get discovered. He had said before that when he used the divine mirror of primordial beginning to probe, it would give off weak pulses. If an alien with strong mental energy was here, he might be able to sense it and discover him. This won't do. If I don't probe, then I won't be able to see anything deep underground. How will I be able to find the location of the divine universe crystal flower then? Right now, Qin Yun only has a very vague direction. He only knows the location of the medium-sized golden stone mine. He is heading towards the depths of the center of the mine, where the divine universe crystal flower is most likely to appear. However, the range of the mine is still very large. The location of the divine universe crystal flower is also not big and it won't release any fluctuations, so it will be very difficult to find it. If he injected his mental energy into the divine mirror of primordial beginning to probe, he would discover an area with many aliens. That would most likely be the location of the divine universe crystal flower. Since Taisher said that he can't probe it, then Qin Yun will definitely be discovered by the aliens if he blindly searches for it. How about this? I'll make some noise to attract their attention and then probe it. They won't pay too much attention to the fluctuations emitted by the divine mirror of primordial beginning, Qin Yun said with a smile. It's feasible, Taisher said, but the noise must be big enough. The moment you make a noise, probe it at the same time. This way you can know their location. Otherwise, if you make a big noise and they immediately leave, then you won't know where they are. Where will they guard the divine universe crystal flower? Qin Yun doesn't have enough strength right now, so he doesn't dare to directly face those powerful aliens. Otherwise, he wouldn't need to do so many things, he could just directly go over and do it. Making a big noise is not a problem for Qin Yun at all. Moreover, it's something he is very good at. He let Ling Yuner use the pill transformation heavenly furnace inside the Nine-Sun Divine Spirit. He mixed the Divine Universe Golden Stone and a large amount of Divine Sun energy together and refined it into a very large pearl. This way, he can erupt with very strong power. In order to make the power even greater, Qin Yun also poured his own Divine Universe power into a power-storing pearl and placed it inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace to fuse with other things. The most powerful thing about the pill transformation heavenly furnace is that it can fuse all kinds of messy things into a pill. This pill is very stable. This kind of stable pill looks very stable, but when needed, it can still let the energy inside burst out. Qin Yun used the pill transformation heavenly furnace to refine artillery shells before, and the effect is very good. Qin Yun let Ling Yuner and Yang Yang join hands. Yang Yang's flame is very strong. If the flame she released was refined into a pill and detonated, the power would be very strong. There is still plenty of time. Qin Yun is not in a hurry. He waited for Ling Yuner and the others to make a few more of those pills and then bury them near the three huge mines. This way, he can detonate them one after another and create a very big commotion. If that kind of big commotion burst out, it would be like a chaotic battle between many experts. The aliens deep underground might even be lured away. Of course, this is only the best result Qin Yun expected. He is still not sure what will happen in the end. After waiting for 3 days, Ling Yuner and the others have made a total of more than 100 of those pills, and they are not small. This consumes a lot of Divine Universe Golden Stone. If it explodes, the power will definitely not be small. Ling Yuner said with a smile. When Qin Yun got it, he discovered that it can't be considered a pill because it is as big as a small apple. The thing produced by the pill transformation heavenly furnace is so big, it means that it has already reached the limit of the pressure and the power will be very strong. How powerful is this thing? Although Qin Yun knows that the energy inside is very large, he is not clear about what will happen after it explodes. What he can be sure of is that it is impossible to use it to kill the alien creatures. However, it is definitely possible to use it to blow up a pit or something. Chapter 2990. Qin Yun controlled the gorilla and quickly headed to the vicinity of the three mines. If it was the activity of the beastmen from the outer universe, it would not attract their attention. They seemed to have some equipment that could sense the aura of humans. Qin Yun and the beastmen from the outer universe were together. His aura was weak and was completely covered by the aura of the gorilla. If the outsiders had any doubts, they would not have any doubts when they saw the gorilla. Along the way, Qin Yun encountered several groups of beastmen, but they were not discovered. This meant that his trick could deceive a large number of beastmen from the outer universe. The three huge mines were only the surface of the mine. They had originally been dug by the heaven-opening race, but after the outer universe took over, they called over a group of beastmen and beasts to continue digging and help them mine the Divine Universe Goldstone. After Qin Yun arrived, he suddenly thought that the Divine Universe Goldstones dug by the beastmen and beasts would definitely be stored in one place. It must be the warehouse of the Divine Universe Goldstones. What was this warehouse like? Was it a storage space or a building hidden underground? Qin Yun suddenly thought of the warehouse. This mine had been robbed for a period of time. The creatures from the outer universe must have dug out a lot. If he could sneak into that warehouse, he might be able to obtain a large number of Divine Universe Goldstones. When Qin Yun and Ling Yun were making the explosive pills, he had searched deep underground for the Divine Universe Goldstones. He had found quite a few, but they were all relatively small. He did not go to the rich ore layer, nor did he dare to go, afraid that he would be discovered by the outsiders. Therefore, he could only find bits and pieces of Divine Universe Goldstones, which added up to only a few tens of millions. The most important thing is still the Divine Universe Crystal Flower. Qin Yun dispelled the idea of robbing the warehouse. He did not know where the warehouse was. Things had to be done one by one. His strength was limited, so he could not do it all at once. Qin Yun began to place the explosive pills. He could be sure that there would not be any outsiders hiding underground near the 3 mines. There were not many outsiders. Even if they were hiding underground, they would definitely guard the Divine Universe Crystal Flower in the rich ore layer. They would definitely be guarding against the heaven-opening race to prevent them from destroying the Divine Universe Crystal Flower. In addition, there would be a small number of outsiders guarding the ground. They did not need to mine. They only needed to be in those houses. Once they sensed an enemy attack, they would immediately attack. Mining was the job of the beastmen and beasts from the outer universe. Qin Yun did not encounter any aliens, but he knew that there were definitely aliens overseeing the work on the ground. Therefore, he was still in a relatively dangerous situation. After successfully placing 100 core explosion pills, Qin Yun chose a place to drill into the ground. He wanted to ensure that the Divine Mirror of Primordial Beginnings detection range could detect those aliens. He did not use up all the explosive pills. There were still more than 10 left. This won't do. The detection range is too short. If I get close, I'll alert the aliens. Qin Yun is currently above the rich mining area. He is carefully diving down. Start investigating now. If you attract the attention of the aliens, detonate those explosive pills, Taisher said. Qin Yun immediately injected his mental power and used the Divine Mirror of Primordial Beginning to probe. The layer he was in was even deeper than the bottom of the 3 mines. After using the Divine Mirror of Taisher to explore, he found that there were foreign creatures only in the mines above, and there were no more than a kilometer underground. Could it be even deeper? Qin Yun knew very well that the ground he was in was becoming more and more dangerous, but he had no choice but to continue taking the risk. He controlled the Gorilla Beastman and continued to dig. The Gorilla Beastman's digging speed was still very fast. Not long after, he dug 800 to 900 meters. On the way, he saw many relatively large Divine Universe golden stones. Qin Yun stored them into the 9 Yang Divine Spirit. Those were all pure Divine Universe golden stones. As long as the surface was cleaned, they would become large pieces of Divine Universe golden stones. It was not like the small mine from before, where many of them only had the surface of Divine Universe golden stones. Qin Yun really wanted to dig here for a period of time, but he could not delay any longer. He had to find the location of the Divine Universe Crystal Flower as soon as possible and see if it was still there. Along the way, Qin Yun had collected a total of 1 billion Divine Universe golden stones. Only now did he know that the rich mining area's Divine Universe golden stones were so abundant. Just by casually digging, there would be more than 1 billion Divine Universe golden stones. While digging, he also placed 2 explosive pills. If they were to explode, the commotion would be very big even if it was deep underground. Then, Qin Yun continued to use the Divine Mirror of Primordial Beginning to probe. After probing, the Divine Mirror of Primordial Beginning suddenly shook and a very small human-shaped red shadow appeared on the mirror's surface. It's about the same size as a human. It should be an alien, but it hasn't moved. Taisher said, it should not have discovered this Gorilla Beast man. and then continue digging. Qin Yun is not sure if there is a divine universe crystal flower below. He only knows that he has reached the rich mining area. From the divine mirror of primordial beginning, he can see that there are no aliens within a kilometer. However, he still very carefully dug down. While digging, it was the gorilla beastman who dug. There was more or less some commotion, but it was not discovered. Qin Yun began to suspect that those aliens were not very powerful. Otherwise, they would have definitely discovered this gorilla beastman. Could it be that the aliens think that the gorilla beastman is patrolling? Qin Yun said with a frown. Maybe. But if we get too close to the core of the divine universe crystal flower, those aliens might be vigilant. Taisher warned Qin Yun. You have to be extra careful and maintain vigilance at all times. As the gorilla beastman dug down, Qin Yun collected many divine universe golden stones. The largest one was several meters long and the smallest one was more than a meter long. They were all irregular, but they were all pure divine universe golden stones. Along the way, he collected more than 2 billion and also placed 2 explosion pills. He entered the rich mining area and placed explosion pills. If this mine was completely developed, how many divine universe golden stones would he obtain? Qin Yun also found it hard to imagine. And this was only a medium-sized golden stone mine. What if it was a large one? He now finally understood why there were so many alien lifeforms crazily rushing in and why the Nine-Sun Holy Land really had a lot of divine universe golden stones. Qin Yun dug another kilometer and used the divine mirror of primordial beginning to probe again. He discovered that there were several figures gathered on the left side. This made Qin Yun slightly excited, because that place was most likely where the divine universe crystal flower was located. The aliens were surrounding that place. Maybe they were studying something. However, at this moment, he noticed that the alien he had marked earlier was coming towards him, and the few aliens below seemed to have noticed him as well. Chapter 2991. Qin Yun suddenly became nervous. He doesn't know how strong these aliens are, but with his current strength, he definitely can't deal with them. Are they all here? Qin Yun is somewhat looking forward to it. If these aliens are coming towards him, as long as he leads them away, he can quickly rush to the place where the aliens are gathered. Below him, further to the left, there are still 2 aliens who haven't moved. Only 4 aliens are coming towards him. There are still 2 who haven't come up. Qin Yun frowned and considered whether or not to detonate the explosive pills. We've been discovered, but they don't seem to be in a hurry. Qin Yun didn't let the gorilla beastman stop and let him continue to dig. You can detonate them, Taisher suddenly said. Through the divine mirror of primal beginning, Qin Yun can see 5 aliens approaching. Although their speed isn't fast, they are coming towards him. It is certain that they have discovered the gorilla beastman. They haven't discovered that there are humans here, otherwise they would have come at a faster speed, Qin Yun said. Soon after, with a thought, he released a weak spatial fluctuation and detonated the explosive pills. The surface of the explosive pills have spatial runes. They are the spatial divine power added by the little ant queen, so Qin Yun can easily detonate them. After the detonation, the earth fiercely shook. Qin Yun is deep underground, so he can feel the intense shaking. However, he doesn't know what is happening on the surface. In order to avoid being discovered, he didn't even release the Heavenly Eye clone. Not only did he place the explosive pills on the surface of the ground, he even placed a few along the way when he came down to increase the movement. At this moment, he was also extremely nervous because there was an alien coming over. If they were not distracted by the commotion above, then Qin Yun would have failed this time. What made him pleasantly surprised was that not only did the few aliens who had approached him immediately rush towards the ground, even the 2 aliens who had been motionless below him were rushing upwards at a very fast speed. These guys shouldn't have the ability to drill into the ground, but they can still rush up so fast. Could it be that they used a very strong power to fight their way up? Qin Yun looked at the divine mirror of primal beginning, and suddenly felt a lot more at ease. Originally, there were many tunnels underground, but just now there was a huge tremor and all of them were destroyed. Qin Yun stored the gorilla beastman, and used the mysterious penetration divine ability to quickly rush towards the place where the group of aliens had gathered. After he went over, he found that there was actually a small space there. It was a very small space, about the size of a room. However, it was connected to the outside world, and the aliens were in this small space. The small space was like an open door, so Qin Yun could use the divine mirror of primordial beginning to detect the people from the outer universe. After entering the small space, the inside was golden and dazzling. It really looked like a room inside a bead. It was a few meters wide. The walls seemed to be made of divine metal, and in the middle, there was a very small flower. The flower only had 4 petals, and it was very small. It didn't have a stem, and it looked like a flower stuck to the golden ground. Qin Yun patted the ground. It was indeed formed from divine universe goldstone. Furthermore, it was of extremely high quality. This kind of divine universe metal ore was like a golden crystal. Through the crystal, one could see golden liquid flowing in the ground. The walls, floor, and ceiling of the room were all made of golden crystals, and one could see energy flowing under the crystals. It is quickly absorbing the energy of the surrounding divine universe goldstone, mainly to nurture this flower. Qin Yun held the divine mirror of primordial beginning and shined it on the flower. He asked, "Brother Taisher, did you see the divine universe crystal flower? Did you remember anything?" Taisher said before that he had to see it with his own eyes to remember some things. After all, he had too many memories, and sometimes he needed to recall them. "Quickly take it, this is a good thing." Taisher's voice seemed to be somewhat excited. "Take it first, I can't tell you what it is in a short time." "Can it really be taken away? Why didn't those aliens take it away?" Qin Yun also didn't know how to take it, because this flower was inside the small space, and it was connected to the entire small space. "Let Milur come out quickly," Taisher urged. Milur could collect space. She called that small space a small bag before. Letting Milur come out in this kind of place is very dangerous. But now that there are no aliens, Qin Yun let Milur come out is also very safe. He held the divine mirror of primordial beginning in his hand and probed the surroundings. There are no aliens approaching. "Milur, help me collect this small space," Qin Yun said. After Milur came out, she saw the small golden divine universe crystal flower and exclaimed, "Brother, what is this?" Even Milur didn't know, but she could feel that this is a very powerful thing. "I don't know, can you take this small space?" Qin Yun asked. Milur saw that Qin Yun is very anxious. She quickly pulled his hand and came out of the small space. Then she gently waved her hand and the small space turned into a round bead. "Brother, I can feel that the little flower is about to die. The little flower needs to absorb the energy of the golden crispy stone." Milur held the bead in her hand and said with a frown, "You go in first, I will collect the golden crispy stone." Qin Yun quickly put Milur into the 9 Sun Divine Soul. Although there is a big movement from above, it won't be able to deceive the aliens for long. They will definitely find out soon. Therefore, Qin Yun must take advantage of this time to collect as many divine universe golden stones as possible. He is now in the rich ore layer. It can be said that there are large and small divine universe golden stones all around. It is very rich. Yuner, you and I join hands, use the power of Nether Sun and pour all of it into the 9 Sun Divine Souls Nether Sun Pearl. Qin Yun quickly contacted Ling Yuner. The Nether Sun Pearl is the pearl with Nether Sunday. The small Nether Sun inside has grown a lot. If it cooperates with Qin Yun and Ling Yuner's Nether Sun, it can release a very powerful devouring power. Begin. Qin Yun opened the Nether Sun Pearl and released the super strong devouring power of Nether Sunday. The surrounding space began to distort and a black whirlpool gradually appeared in front of the Nether Sun Pearl. The black whirlpool slowly rotated and became bigger and bigger. The surrounding soil flew over at a very fast speed. The more things that are devoured, the greater Qin Yun's consumption. It is the same for Ling Yuner. Fortunately, she can absorb the energy of other divine suns inside the 9-sun divine soul to recover. Qin Yun can recover by himself through the divine king heavenly seal. The Nether Sun inside the 9-sun divine soul Nether Sun Pearl is like a Taotai giant beast, erupting with a very strong devouring power. Qin Yun doesn't know how much he has devoured. He only felt that the ground around him suddenly became empty. A large amount of stone soil and divine universe golden stones have been devoured by the Nether Sun Pearl. The aliens are here. Tai Shi's voice suddenly resounded in Qin Yun's mind. Chapter 2992. Qin Yun also doesn't know how many divine universe golden stones the 9-sun divine spirits Nether Sun Pearl has devoured. In short, he has been busy for a long time this time, so he definitely did not suffer a loss. These guys are really not easy to fool, they reacted so quickly. Qin Yun immediately used the mysterious penetration divine ability and quickly traveled underground, quickly leaving the medium-sized golden stone mine. When he left, he was still somewhat reluctant in his heart because there were many divine universe golden stones in the place just now, but he could only take a small amount. Qin Yun crazily traveled underground, not daring to stop, afraid that the outsiders would catch up to him. Then if the outsiders couldn't protect the divine universe crystal flower, they would definitely go crazy. They might even desperately search for him. After running underground for a day, Qin Yun used the primal beginning divine mirror to scan the surroundings. After confirming that there were no outsiders, he stopped. What a pity! Such a good medium-sized golden stone mine was taken over by the outsiders just like that. Yun is still deep underground. He already let Ling Yuner and Malur enter the Nether Sun Pearl to see how many divine universe golden stones there are. Tai Shi said, "The 9-sun Holy Land has more divine universe golden stones than I imagined. Within a heavenly power region, there is a large mine and 3 medium mines. In other words, there is a very large mine here. I wonder if it has been found?" It has definitely been found. It is very difficult to hide the large and medium mines. Moreover, the Heaven Creation Ancient Race is still active in this area. Qin Yun shook his head. The Heaven Creation Ancient Race only has this mine to defend. Moreover, all the Heaven Creation Ancient Race members guarding this mine have died. The Heaven Creation Ancient Race will definitely not let this matter rest. Qin, the reason why Liangjing rushed back earlier was to find more helpers and take back this mine. Even if it wasn't for the Divine Universe Crystal Flower, just because so many people had died, they would still fight with the outsiders. This mine was near the 9-sun Holy Land's barrier. The outsiders had come here and caused trouble. It was as if they were at their doorstep. If the Heaven Creation Ancient Race did not chase them away, it would be hard for them to swallow this anger. After all, this was the 9-sun Holy Land, the Divine Desolate, not the Outerverse. The outsiders provoked them like this, causing them to suffer heavy casualties. They must deal a heavy blow to the outsiders. Qin, after Yun left the medium-sized golden stone mine, he began to count his gains from entering the 9-sun Holy Land. That what divine universe crystal flower? That was because he still didn't know what it was. Sutra. After some careful calculations, they estimated that they had obtained around 100 billion divine universe gold stones. This was a rather impressive harvest. After giving Malur 50 billion and returning 10 billion to her, Qin Yun could still get 40 billion, which was not bad. After all, he had gained so much in just half a month. Qin Yun took out the divine mirror of Primal Beginning and asked, "Old brother Primal Beginning, what's going on with the divine space crystal flower? That senior from before said that this is very important to the people of the outer universe, but I don't know what its specific use is. Is this a medicinal ingredient?" That divine space crystal flower had turned into a pearl and was growing in its own small space. It needed to absorb a large amount of divine space golden stone to grow. Such as if it was useless to him, Qin Yun did not wish to continue planting it. He did not have that many divine universe goldstones to grow flowers. It can't be considered a plant, but it will grow like a plant. It's a flower now, but it will slowly grow into a sapling in the future, and finally become a tree. Taisher said, "After becoming a big tree, that flower will bear fruit. This tree only has one fruit, but that fruit is very useful." "What's the use? Can it be eaten?" Qin Yun asked. "You can't eat it, but it's the essence of the divine space golden stone. It can be absorbed and used for cultivation," Taisher said. "As for the effect, I can't be sure right now. I only know that this kind of thing is very rare. Even a large mine might not appear." "Then do I need a lot of divine space golden stone to plant?" Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "My divine space golden stone is limited. I have to raise myself and you, it's not enough. Of course you don't need divine space golden stone. You can just place it inside the 9 sun divine spirit and absorb the energy of the myriad realms divine sun." Taisher said, "It's best to plant it on the divine yang heavenly soil. Its growth speed should be very fast." "That's good." Qin Yun felt a lot more at ease. "You should know that the formation of the divine space golden stone is caused by the energy of the powerful divine Sunday. And in the process of that flower's growth, the tree trunk, branches, leaves and so on will all become divine space golden stone." Taisher said again, "That flower can absorb the energy of the myriad realms divine sun and grow by itself, turning into a lot of divine space golden stone?" Qin Yun said in shock. "Then do I have a way to plant it in large quantities? I don't want that fruit, I just want to plant a lot of these trees." "I'm not too sure. If it grows into a tree, you can try plucking the leaves off the tree and see if the leaves grow back." Taisher said, "Your 9 sun divine spirits, white sun pearl, has the divine yang heavenly soil. With the white divine sun, it might be able to help that flower grow." The dragon peach divine tree inside the white sun pearl is growing quite well. Yang Yang and Emo Emo are looking forward to the fruit all day long. They have been very meticulous in taking care of that tree. How much can the fruit of the divine space crystal flower help me improve? Qin Yun is very curious. Outsiders value the divine space crystal flower so much, it must be very precious. Otherwise, they wouldn't have taken the risk to occupy that mine. Taisher said, "Next, the outsiders will have to face the crazy revenge of the heaven-opening ancient race. The 8 heaven-opening ancient race people are outside. They will definitely join hands and attack that medium-sized golden stone mine." Qin Yun did not leave. Instead, he continued to stay in the 9 sun sacred land. He is now hiding in a cave deep in the mountains. Mimilua received 50 billion divine universe golden stones and Qin Yun also gave her 10 billion, which is 60 billion. Suddenly receiving so much shocked her. She knew that Qin Yun treated her very well, so she didn't want that much. She said that she only needed 30 billion and the rest would be given to Qin Yun. She refused to take that much no matter what. She even said that she wouldn't be able to eat all of the divine universe golden stones in a short time. In the end, Qin Yun could only accept the 30 billion divine universe golden stones from Milur. He knew that this is a very heavy responsibility. If those destroyers came to capture Milur, he would definitely have to protect her. In this way, Qin Yun now has 70 billion divine universe golden stones to use for cultivation. All of them are used to increase the upper limit of the divine universe power? If we use 20 million to increase the upper limit, then these 70 billion divine universe golden stones can increase the upper limit by 3,500. But I can't use it all at once, I have to save some to protect myself. Qin Yun held the Divine King Heavenly Seal and is planning how to cultivate. I suggest that you cultivate your mental power to 100 because you still need to find the Divine Universe Golden Stone Mine. Taisher said, "You should have already felt the benefits of mental power, right?" Chapter 2993. Mental strength was indeed very strong, especially when the opponent had not cultivated it. Attacking the opponent's mind was very effective. Qin Yun wanted to stay in the Nine Sun sacred ground for a period of time, mainly to find the Divine Universe Goldstones. Goblin his Divine Space Force was a great help in searching for Divine Space Ore. If he could increase it a little more, it would be of great help to him. At the very least, he wouldn't feel mentally exhausted after using his Divine Space Force many times. Raise the upper limit of spiritual energy to 100? In that case, we still need 40 points, and we need 40 billion. Yun was very reluctant because he had used more than half of the 70 billion he had gained this time to increase his mental energy. Moreover, he believed that his mental energy was more than enough. 70 billion Divine Universe Goldstones. Keep 10 billion by your side. As for the remaining 60 billion, 30 billion will be used to increase my mental strength, and the other 30 billion will be used to increase my Divine Space Force. Taisher said, "You are now in the second tier of the Divine Space Realm. If you want to step into the third tier of the Divine Space Realm, you might not be able to use up 30 billion. That's right, then I'll raise my Divine Cosmos Force first." Qin Yun was currently at the second firmament of the Divine Space Realm. His Divine Space Power had a maximum limit of 1200. If he wanted to reach the boundary of the third firmament of the Divine Space Realm, he would need to double his Divine Space Power. In other words, he would need to increase his Divine Space Power by another 1200. Once you step into the third level of the Divine Space Realm, your Divine Space Force might erupt out quite a bit. At that time, it won't be the upper limit of 2,400 Divine Space Force. Taisher said. "I know." Qin Yun smiled and said, "I am really looking forward to it. From the looks of it, when I leave the Nine Sun Holy Land, my cultivation will at least be at the fourth level of the Divine Space Realm. I wonder how strong the great Divine Lord will be then?" After leaving through the clouds, there was still a great deal of Divine Universe metal that could be earned. For instance, the Black Killer Sun and the Law Enforcement World King had handed over a considerable amount of Divine Universe metal. Through the God Monarch Heavenly Mark, he could raise the upper limit of his Divine Cosmic Force by 20 million points. Raising the upper limit by 1,200 points meant that it was 24 billion. Based on the rate at which he could consume 10 billion per day, he would need 2.5 days to reach the limit of the second tier of the Divine Space Realm. This time, he could smoothly raise the upper limit of his Divine Cosmos Force to 2,400, and he didn't need to cultivate anything else. Like previously, he had to either temper the Divine Universe Golden Tendons or strengthen the Divine Universe Golden Tendons. During this period of time, he had used up a lot of Divine Universe Golden Stones. Such as today, he felt very comfortable as he leveled up to his heart's content. "I should have increased my Divine Cosmos power long ago." Qin Yun looked at the Divine King Heavenly Seal in his hand. He had fed many Divine Universe Goldstones to the Godly Monarch Heavenly Seal. One reason was to allow the Godly Monarch Heavenly Seal to evolve an ability, and the other was to activate the Heavenly Rules Orthodoxy's ability. Qin Yun had asked Grand Prime before. If he wanted the Godly King Heavenly Seal to evolve another ability, He would need more Divine Universe Goldstones. Grand Prime did not tell him the specifics. He only told him not to ask too much lest he was in a bad mood. I'm finally going to step into the third level of the Divine Space Realm. Qin Yun is now using the Divine King Heavenly Seal to restore his Divine Space power. His upper limit had gone up, but his Divine Cosmos Force had never been replenished. Only when his Divine Cosmos Force was fully restored could he make a breakthrough and attack the Divine Cosmos within his body. Only then would he be able to erupt with even greater power. At the peak of the second tier of the Divine Space Realm, I have an upper limit of 2,400 points of Divine Space Force, while the majority of people at the peak of the third tier of the Divine Space Realm only have an upper limit of 2,000 Divine Space Force. Qin Yun could now sense the benefits of strengthening the Divine Universe Golden Tendons very early on. After all, he had previously invested a lot of Divine Universe Golden Rocks in exchange for this extreme Divine Universe power. Another great benefit was that when he broke through, the upper limit of his Divine Cosmos Force would erupt. The higher the quality of his body, the higher the upper limit of his explosive power. This was also one of the benefits of strengthening all the Divine Universe Golden Tendons very early. It was very difficult to completely strengthen the Divine Universe Golden Tendons at the first tier of the Divine Universe realm, and no one had ever done it before. Even if there was, not many people would know about it. Only Qin Yun could understand the great benefits of strengthening the Divine Universe Golden Tendons early. Qin Yun spent a long time adjusting himself to his best state. Right now there's an upper limit of 2,400. Let's see how much there will be after the breakthrough. Yun took a deep breath and laid on the ground. He placed the God King Heavenly Seal on his chest and used the God King Heavenly Seal's power to break through. The breaking process is very fast. Qin Yun only feels that all of his Divine Cosmos power is suddenly sucked dry by the Divine King Heavenly Seal and then blasted into the Divine Cosmos within his body. It could be said to be very short, but the feeling was very strong. He didn't have such a strong feeling in his previous breakthroughs, which surprised him. I broke through. What's the upper limit of my Divine Cosmos power now? Qin Yun hurriedly picked up the Divine Mirror of Grand Beginning and checked his upper limit of Divine Cosmos power. 2,800. Qin Yun was alarmed. He had actually increased his upper limit of Divine Cosmos power by 400. This was a lot for a third-tier Divine Cosmos realm cultivator. The average person at the third tier of the Divine Universe realm would have Divine Cosmos power between 1,000 to 2,000. When Qin Yun stepped into the third tier of the Divine Universe realm, it directly increased by 400. Qin Yun was originally very happy, but Taishi's following words made him somewhat depressed. You are now at the third tier of the Divine Universe realm. The Divine Universe Goldstones required to raise the upper limit of Divine Cosmos power by 1 point is no longer 20 million, but 40 million. How did you know so quickly? Qin Yun curled his lips. To raise the upper limit of Divine Cosmos power, one had to expend a certain amount of Divine Cosmos power to develop and strengthen the Divine Cosmos in one's body. After consuming it, he would use the God King Heavenly Seal to absorb the Divine Universe Goldstones to replenish it. But now that he had just broken through, Taishi told him that he had to consume even more Divine Universe Goldstones. This made him very puzzled. Your current Divine Cosmos power is 3 cores. Naturally, you need to consume a lot of Divine Universe Goldstones to replenish it. About 200,000 Divine Universe Goldstones to replenish 1 point of Divine Cosmos power and 200 points to strengthen the Divine Cosmos power in your body to raise the upper limit of Divine Cosmos power by 1 point. Taishi said. Previously, replenishing 1 point of Divine Cosmos power required 100,000 Divine Universe Goldstones. Now it has doubled. Alright. Qin Yun sighed and said, Then I will start cultivating mental universe power. He still had 36 billion left in his budget, which could be used to raise 36 points of mental cosmos power. Qin Yun cultivated for 3.5 days and finally used up the rest of his budget. His mental cosmos power was 96, almost reaching 100. Qin Yun had been in the Nine Sun Sacred Land for a period of time. Especially during these few days of seclusion, he had completely lost contact with the outside world. He planned to go out for a while to receive news and see if there was anything important. Qin Yun was not far from the barrier. When he came out from underground, it was noon. He looked at the sky and saw that there were only 6 myriad realms divine suns. However, he felt that something was amiss. He felt that the light was much stronger. He let the little queen ant come out and bring him into the dark space to the outside of the Nine Sun Sacred Land. Just as soon as he came out, Qin Yun was shocked. After coming out, he saw the 7th myriad realm's divine sun. Chapter 2994. The 7th divine sun had appeared. Qin Yun immediately took out the Taisher divine mirror and shone it at the divine sun. He said in shock, "Brother Taisher, did you see that? This 7th divine sun seemed to be a little bigger than the 6th divine sun. Why can't I see the 7th divine sun in the Nine Sun Sacred Land?" When he was in the Nine Sun Sacred Ground, he had just come up from deep underground and felt that the light was stronger than before. He suspected that there was an additional divine sun, so he looked at the sky but only saw 6 myriad realm divine suns. When he came out of the Nine Sun Sacred Ground, he could feel stronger sunlight. At that moment, he was very sure that there was an additional myriad realm divine sun in the sky. This myriad world's godly sun is stronger than the previous one. Taisher said with great certainty, "Looks like the Nine Yang Dharma spirit is becoming more and more proficient in the divine sun cultivation technique. Why can't I see the 7th divine sun in the Nine Sun Sacred Land?" Qin Yun was very curious about this. The Nine Suns Dharma spirit cultivated such a powerful divine sun, so it should have mastered the power of spatial isolation. It isolated the 7th divine sun outside the Nine Sun Sacred Ground, preventing its energy from reaching the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. Taisher said, "This is a good thing for the divine desolate. At least a large amount of the myriad realms divine sun's energy won't be absorbed by the Nine Sun Sacred Ground." Cloud took out the magic mirror and began to receive information from all sides. Many people were looking for Qin Yun, mainly asking him about the 7th divine Sunday Hara. The 7th divine sun appeared 5 days ago. It was also during that period of time that everyone came to look for Qin Yun. It seemed that every time Qin Yun entered seclusion, the myriad realm's divine sun would appear. The last time the 6th divine sun appeared, it was huge. At that time, many people couldn't contact Qin Yun and thought that it was caused by Qin Yun. This after the 7th divine sun appeared, everyone had the same thought. Qin Yun could only reply to them one by one, saying that it had nothing to do with him. He did not know what was going on either. Among them, Yu Yuan even contacted Qin Yun anxiously because he learned from Qin Liangjing that Qin Yun had secretly entered the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. And moreover, Yu Yuan also learned from Xiao Qihong that Qin Yun can already craft 1-star Imperial Heavenly Talisman. Yu Li Fan went to look for Xiao Qihong and told him about this. Xiao Qihong is very amazed by this. He immediately wanted to meet Qin Yun. However, Yu Li Fan also could not contact Qin Yun, so Xiao Qihong went to find Yu Yuan. "Sect leader, I'm fine. I was in seclusion during this period of time," Qin Yun said with smile. "I still don't have time to meet Senior Xiao. I still have very important things to do." Yun immediately contacted Xiao Yuelan and Xiao Yueme. The two of them looked for Qin Yun. What made Qin Yun feel funny is that every few days they would pretend to be Yu Xieji and go sightseeing. They even took many pictures and videos and sent them to the group. Qin Yun only received it after he came out. Yuelon, Yueme, can you contact Nine Yang Law Spirit? What's the situation inside the 70th Universe Divine Sun? Qin Yun asked. Is Sister Kira back? Next, it should be her turn to enter the core of the myriad worlds Divine Sun. Little hubby, the internal situation of the 70th Universe Deity Sun is very complicated, we still haven't figured it out. Oh, that's right, Yueme and I are preparing to return to the ancestral Divine Sun and second Divine Sun cores. Xiao Yuelon immediately replied. The Nine Suns Law Spirit wants us to return. Xiao Yueme wants to enter Ancestor Divine Sun, and Xiao Yuelon wants to enter Second Divine Sunday. Did the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit tell you why you need to return to the Divine Sun's core? Is it to cultivate? Qin Yun asked. I don't know yet. In short, it gave us a time limit. Once the time is up, it will send me in. Xiao Yueme said, Brother, we can't pretend to be Yu Xieji anymore. It's fine, Great Divine King doesn't care about Yu Xieji anyways. He will come to collect the Divine Universe Golden Stones on time. Qin Yun said, I am worried about you, afraid that the Nine Yang Law Spirit will harm you. How can that be? The Nine Yang Law Spirit wants us to return this time, it should be to gather power or something. I am not too sure about the specifics. Xiao Yuelon said, Don't worry, the Nine Yang Law Spirit won't harm us. Qin Yun doesn't trust the Nine Yang Law Spirit. Previously, the Nine Yang Law Spirit said that Bing Xing is in trouble. Even though the Nine Yang Law Spirit said that it deliberately lured Qin Yun here. However, this made Qin Yun vigilant. He wished he could beat up the Nine Yang Law Spirit. It actually used Sister Bing Xing's safety to threaten him. This is what made him the most angry. Qin Yun found out that Xiao Yuelon and Xiao Yueme want to return to the Divine Sun core. No. He is only worried about the two sisters. He is very worried about Nine Sun Divine Maiden, who is still in the Myriad Realms Divine Sun core. Qin Yun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal and transmitted his strong consciousness into it. He said, Nine Yang Law Spirit, you bastard! Quickly tell me, why did you let Yuelon and Yueme go back? Regardless of whether you are listening or not, I want to warn you, if you dare to harm them, I, Qin Yun, will not let you off. Qin Yun is now very angry. Because after the Nine Yang Law Spirit finished using him, it ignored him. Now, it even called Xiao Yuelon and Xiao Yueme back without saying anything. Qin Yun, congratulations on your cultivation increasing by a lot. The Nine Yang Law Spirit's laughter can be heard. To Qin Yun, it is the laughter of a treacherous old fox. Why did you let Yuelon and Yueme go back? Quickly speak. Qin Yun transmitted a very angry voice into the Divine King Heavenly Seal. It's nothing, the 70th Divine Sun has appeared. Let her go back and feel the benefits of the 7th Divine Sunday. This can help them increase their strength, it's a good thing. Nine Yang Law Spirit said with smile. Qin Yun, don't worry. I already said that I won't harm Nine Sun Divine Maiden. Then what about Sister Kiru and the others? Didn't they enter Nine Sun Holy Land? But they are not in Nine Sun Holy Land. Where did they go? Qin Yun asked again. They went to the Outerverse. Don't worry, they are very safe. I asked them to go to the Outerverse to help me find something. What? What kind of cultivation do they have? You want them to go to the Outerverse? Qin Yun immediately flew into a rage. He didn't dare to be sure before, but now that Nine Yang Law Spirit has admitted it, he is very angry. The Outerverse they are going to is not very dangerous. Do you really think that there is only one Outerverse? That passage can currently lead to two Outerverses. Nine Yang Law Spirit said. 2 Outerverses? Qin Yun suddenly thought of Ancient Desolate. Ancient Desolate's Heaven Exterminating Heavens said that there is a passage on their side that leads to the outerverse. Not only two, there might even be a third, a fourth in the future. Otherwise, how do you think I created this seventh divine son? Nine Young Law Spirit very proudly laughed and said, Then why did you say that you wanted to use that box to seal the passage? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, You bastard, which part of your words is the truth? Chapter 2995. Qin Yun and that old brother Taisher have always been thinking about the box where primordial Taisher is. If it doesn't fall, it will be a great threat to them. It can be said to be a great hidden danger. But that box is in the hands of the Nine Yang Law Spirit. They have no chance to obtain it. Nine Yang Faling said that he wanted to use that box to seal the passage in the middle of the Nine Sun Holy Land. But now, not only that passage is not sealed, it can even lead to another universe. You don't understand, right? That passage is bifurcated, just like how your urine is bifurcated. Nine Young Law Spirit laughed loudly and said, Bifurcated is only bifurcated, you said it can lead to even more outerverse. Qin Yun said, When will Sister Kiru and the others return from that outerverse? Doesn't she need to enter the 70th universe Divine Sun? Nine Young Law Spirit said, Not every universe has very terrifying outer universe life forms. Some universes are still in the initial stage of growth or middle stage, so there won't be any danger. I can guarantee their safety, you can rest assured. Then what do you plan to do inside the 70th universe Divine Sun? Are there any Divine Sun descendants inside? Although Qin Yun already has the space inside the four Divine Suns, he feels that it is not enough. If he could obtain another Divine Sun, that would be even better. The interior of the seventh Divine Sun. I plan to make it a diplomatic place. That is to let the humans of many universes send representatives to enter the seventh Divine Sun and settle the disputes between the many universes. Nine Young Law Spirit said, Of course, this might be rather difficult, but we still have to try. Qin Yun looked at the seventh Divine Sun in the sky. Nine Young Law Spirit being able to create it in such a short period of time is indeed very amazing. It belongs to the Super Divine Sun level. The reason why Nine Young Law Spirit opened the passage to many outerverse is to obtain energy from other universes to cultivate his myriad realms Divine Sunday. This way, he won't need to use the energy of this universe. Such as if one absorbs too much energy from this universe, they will be punished. Taisher also said that under normal circumstances, as long as three super divine suns appear together, it would definitely attract a lot of attention from the universe and they would be finished very quickly. However, after the myriad realms divine suns above divine desolate appeared one after another, nothing happened. Clearly, Nine Young Law Spirit protected them well. That ancestor God Sun's divine sun descendant, how is he now? It's still the same. It's very difficult to exterminate them all, but these fellows can't do much at the moment. I believe that with the speed of your growth, it's only a matter of time before you get rid of those guys. The Nine Young Law Spirit said with a smile. Qin Yun, the descendants of the Divine Sun are my nemesis. I have high hopes for you, don't disappoint me. For Yun to be able to grow to this stage, she also had the secret support of the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit for many years. But therefore, it can be said that the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit had already started making arrangements a long time ago. After so many years, Qin Yun indeed did not disappoint the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit. Although Qin Yun is somewhat unhappy with the Nine Suns Dharma Spirit, in the end, the Nine Suns Dharma Spirit still helped him a lot. Furthermore, it even sent the Nine Suns Divine Maiden to his side. Was the heaven-splitting ancient clan being suppressed? I can help them awaken their bloodline heavenly runes, but they seem to be afraid of something, so they don't dare to let me continue awakening. The heaven-splitting ancient clan is also known as the Divine Sun Hunters. They were originally like tools. Only after they came into contact with the bloodline heavenly runes did they discover that they could borrow the power of the bloodline heavenly runes to break through their own limits and become stronger. What happened afterwards is more or less what you understand. They want to become stronger and no longer want to be tools. They have always been secretly seeking a breakthrough. They went to many outerverse and in the end, only a small portion of them returned here. There are also many heaven-splitting ancient clan members who wandered in other outerverse. The 9 young law spirit seems to be comparing the heaven-splitting ancient clan members. Then now they are determined to stay in the heavenly god desolate? Qin Yun is somewhat worried that after the heaven-splitting ancient clan broke through some kind of restriction, they would attract a powerful faction. Yes, the heavenly god desolate has given them hope, so they will protect the 9 sun sacred grounds barrier. The 9 young law spirits said with smile. Qin Yun previously guessed that the heaven-splitting ancient clan and the 9 young law spirit must have secretly discussed this. Oh right, what exactly is going on with the ancient desolate? Qin Yun asked again. He has always been very curious about the ancient desolate. That is a special space I created. This space is sandwiched between 2 universes. However, because of some problems, the passageway between the ancient desolate and this universe was closed. In addition, the ancient desolate is my experimental ground. According to my observations, when many living beings grow in this universe, after reaching a certain stage, they will be greatly restricted and in the end, they will inexplicably die. Therefore, I suspect that there is a high-level life form in this universe that I am unable to observe, specifically suppressing the growth of low-level life forms. When the 9 young law spirits said these words, its tone was rather solemn. This made Qin Yun recall what Yu Li Fan once said about the upper echelons. Then will the passageway to the ancient desolate be opened in the future? Qin Yun asked. Even if it is possible, I will not open it for the time being to avoid causing chaos. If nothing unexpected happens, the ancient desolate's life forms will be able to grow very quickly. When their strength reaches the level of high-level life forms, if they enter the heavenly god desolate, it will cause a great commotion. The 9 young law spirits said. In short, this matter is rather complicated. If one day, a high-level life form comes and wants to destroy the heavenly god desolate, to destroy the myriad realms' divine sun, maybe the ancient desolate can save us. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. So the ancient desolate was actually such an existence. This 9 young law spirit had actually secretly made such a huge arrangement. I don't often contact you because you are rather special. If there is something that wants to stop me from growing, if I discover that you often contact me, then you will be in danger. The 9 young law spirit chuckled and said, Therefore, I am doing this to protect you. Alright, let's leave it at that. We will contact each other as little as possible in the future. Wait, what danger? Is the 9 sun goddess in danger? Qin Yun hurriedly shouted but did not receive a response. Qin Yun looked around. According to what the 9 young Dharma spirits said, the divine desolate heavens were all mid to low-level life forms. If one day they reached the strength of a high-level life form, then it would attract the descent of a high-level life form and they would be exterminated. This reminded him of what Miller said about the destroyers. Senior Li Fan also said that when the middle and lower-level life forms face the threat of the outer realm life forms, the upper-level people will not intervene. However, the upper-level people still gave some help. Why is that? Yun looked at the sky. He really wanted to know what those upper-level people or higher-level life forms were like. To actually be able to destroy so many divine suns, even the heaven-splitting ancient clan was the subordinate of those upper-level people. Chapter 2996. Qin Yun held the Divine King Heavenly Seal and continued to shout for the 9 Sun Law Spirit. After shouting for a while, the 9 Sun Law Spirit still did not respond. This guy. I still want to ask about Malur. Qin Yun suspected that the destroyer who captured Malur might have been sent by the upper echelons. If they were really sent by the upper echelons, then they must be very strong. Qin Yun took out the divine mirror of Grand Beginning and told Grand Beginning about his conversation with the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit. He asked him if what the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit said was possible. After Taisher heard this, he said, "Looks like the Nine Yang Law Spirit is going to do something big. I know what he's going to do." What kind of disaster would this guy cause? Didn't the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit say that it didn't care about the life and death of divine wilderness? Why are you so concerned now? Qin Yun thought that the Nine Yang Law Spirit really didn't care about the divine desolate. That depends on whether the god desolate is of any benefit to him. The existence of divine desolate can allow the Nine Sons Law Spirit to nurture a group of powerful creatures. These creatures can protect the myriad realms' divine sun. Taisher said, "What exactly does that Nine Yang Dharma Spirit want to do? How many universes?" Qin Yun looked at the 70th universe Divine Sunday. When the 6th Divine Sun appeared, he was already shocked. He never expected the 7th Divine Sun to be even bigger. The Nine Yang Law Spirit wants to create a super strong Divine Sunday. It needs to use these Divine Sun to open up multiple universes and then absorb energy from those universes. Furthermore, it won't be destroyed by those universes. Taisher said, it has to wander between multiple universes, benefiting from both sides. If it goes too far, it will definitely be very dangerous. Qin Yun suddenly recalled that within the myriad world's Divine Sun's core, there were many layers of space. It was highly possible that the space within the core led to other universes, from which he could obtain energy. In that case, the Nine Sons Divine Maiden was even more important, because the Nine Sons Divine Maiden was needed to construct a space within the core. No matter what, the reason the Nine Sons Law Spirit made this choice should be to seek a breakthrough. Otherwise, these 9 myriad realms' divine suns would have either been destroyed or sealed. Taisher said, Qin Yun had many bloodline heavenly pattern boxes, which were sealed pocket universes. He suspected that once those small universes devoured enough energy in this universe, they would become independent. As long as it was still in this universe, once it was destroyed, the energy would still remain in the universe. It is useless for Qin Yun to think too much because his strength is still too weak. Let's go collect the Divine Universe Goldstones first. Qin Yun contacted the Law Enforcement Realm King, Black Killer Master, and Yu Yen. They each transferred over 1 billion Divine Universe Goldstones to Qin Yun's card, adding up to 4 billion. After that, Qin Yun went to look for Ming Yongtian and gave him a large batch of elegant cigarettes that could be sold for 500 million. Ming Yongtian also gave Qin Yun 500 million. This was the money he got from selling the batch of elegant cigarettes. Qin Yun found a goldstone section and took out 4 billion Divine Universe Goldstones. Then, he used them to raise his mental force by 4 points, allowing it to reach 100. The appearance of the 70th world's Divine Sun brought even more vitality to the Divine Desolate. Qin Yun saw from the magic mirror that after the 7th Divine Sun appeared, it shot out many beams of powerful energy. Those beams of light shot into the Divine Desolate. This meant that many treasure lands would appear. There would be more and more Divine Universe Goldstone mines and more powerful races would be born. Not only did the 70th world's Divine Sun shoot out beams of light, the other 6 Divine Suns also burst out with intense light. Many things fell onto the Divine Desolate. There were also light rays that entered the Divine Moon to strengthen it. Now, the Divine Desolate has become very lively. Many people have set out to find treasure land. There are many resources from the descent of the myriad world's Divine Suns. Whoever can find them will have a great opportunity. There are many barren dead lands in the Divine Desolate, but with the appearance of the 7th Divine Sun, those dead lands will usher in life. However, Qin Yun still chose to go to the Nine Sun Sacred Land. From his point of view, the Divine Universe Goldstone Mine in the Nine Sun Sacred Land is easier to find. According to what he learned from the booklet, it is very easy to sense the Heaven's Power region in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. As long as one can sense the Heaven's Power region, it is very easy to find the Earth Energy region. And in the Divine Desolate it is very difficult to find. Moreover, the resources from the myriad worlds' divine suns can't be formed so quickly. Qin Yun once again entered the Nine Sun Sacred Land. His current strength is much stronger than before. If he meets an outsider again, as long as they are not particularly strong, he will not be as afraid as before. It is very stable for me to erupt with 4 times my strength. I currently have a force of 2,800 divine cosmos. If I use 2,000 divine cosmos to erupt with 4 times my strength, combined with my battle skills and the divine universe heavenly bone in my hands, then I should be able to erupt with 10,000 divine cosmos. Qin Yun thought about it and felt that his current strength is very strong. If the divine universe power continues to increase, it will be even more terrifying. In the following time, Qin Yun went alone in the Nine Sun Sacred Land to search for the Divine Universe Goldstone Mine. During this time, he once again returned to the medium-sized Goldstone Mine and found that there are many heaven-opening ancient race members stationed there. It was snatched back by the heaven-opening ancient race? Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. He does not know if he should tell them about the Divine Universe Crystal Flower. Forget it, it's better to hide this matter. Anyway, that flower is nothing to them. They still don't know what use it has. Qin Yun floated in the sky and looked at the medium-sized goldstone mine from afar. He is very envious. According to his estimation, there are at least 1 trillion divine universe goldstones in that medium-sized goldstone mine. The heaven-opening ancient race is really rich. This sect Master Yuan is so stingy. Qin Yun could also obtain divine universe goldstones through the sect's competition in the Imperial Heaven sect. However, it was still too little. Otherwise, he would not have taken the risk to come to the Nine Sun Sacred Land to search. In the end, Qin Yun continued to search in this Heaven Power region. A Heaven Power region has at least 1 large mine, 3 medium-sized mines, 5 small mines and 7 miniature mines. Qin Yun did not think about the large mine, and the small mine was most suitable for him. If he could find the miniature mine, he would take it. This Heaven Power region covers a very large area. Qin Yun searched for more than 10 days and confirmed 2 Earth energy regions. Because Malheur is not in her red hair state, he searched by himself and found that 2 Earth energy regions have been occupied. They are all occupied by the heaven-opening ancient race. Now, he has found 3 medium-sized mines, but they are all owned by the heaven-opening ancient race. There is still 1 large mine and 4 small mines that have not appeared. I wonder if the large mine has also been occupied by the heaven-opening ancient race. Qin Yun only needs to eliminate the medium-sized and large mines. Then, he can directly find the small mines. 5 days later, Qin Yun found the large mine. It is in a very dangerous area. He did not enter. He only stood outside the dangerous area and could feel that it is full of danger. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.